Williams and Lennox Smith.
Bang, 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 bang. Oh Lord!
Make government work for the people rather than have the people work to keep a government in place.
You must develop a sense of self-reliance. You must develop a sense of confidence. And you must know and remember that parliamentarians are your servants and that you are the lords of the land. And so I ask you to put your hand on your heart, every one of you, and shout after me, I am the government! Louder, I am the government! I am the government!
Wake up! Oh God, wake up! Oh God! Before it's too late, please, oh God. Wake up! Wake up, TNT! Oh God! Wake up! Wake up!
Report with Mikey K, Andy Williams, and Lennox Smith.
Bang, 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 bang.
The Ground Report with Mikey K, Andy Williams, and Lennox Smith.
Boy. Good morning, Trinidad and Tobago. Time check. Yeah, 43 minutes past the hour of 6 o'clock. And listen to the Ground Report. You are surely the pitbull of radio. Lennox Smith, Michael Cook. And you the people in your thousands of you. Oh boy. Well, I missed the first set of players that was there early. But I'll just say a pleasant good morning to Tyra, Ruby, Audriga, good morning. Keith, not Rowley, but Ramnat, good morning. Nadira, pleasant good morning. Matilda, good morning to you. Sharon, Becky, good morning. Ronald Lewis, a pleasant good morning to you. Davy C. Prasad, good morning to you. Hey, Dudlat Mohan, a pleasant good morning to you. Hey, Wendy and Jen, pleasant good morning. Anna R. Munsami, a pleasant good morning to you. Bernadette K. R. good morning. Grace Caesar, good morning to you. Hey, Christiana, pleasant good morning. Anne Brown, good morning to you. Michael Scotland, good morning. Hey, Balraj, a pleasant good morning to you. Afroz Ali, a pleasant good morning. Sibriangani. Oh boy, Davy Parry, good morning. Hey, Timothy Roberts, a pleasant good morning to you. Alicia Ghani, good morning. Pearl Daniel Singh, a pleasant good morning to you. Michael Khan, good morning. Big Spix, good morning. Dress Cool, good morning to you. Ramesh, good morning. Prima, good morning to you. Marvin Lee Davis, a pleasant good morning to you. Kisoon, good morning. Jacqueline Sami, a pleasant good morning to you. Roger Maharaj, a pleasant good morning. Rajendra Maharaj, good morning. Glenn, a pleasant good morning to you. Diddy's, good morning. Not forgetting Dave and Deborah, good morning. Trini Nairo, good morning. Jason Nesbitt, good morning. Hey, Tommy Mohammed, a pleasant good morning to you. Daro, good morning. And also Drew, good morning to you. Carmen, all of you, a pleasant good morning to you all. Hey, Ramana Singh, a pleasant good morning. I think I did say good morning to Alisa Ghani. Hey, Sudesh Sabdio, a pleasant good morning. Hey, Narish, good morning. Hey, Ganesh Mohammed. Oh, Ganesh Mohan, good morning to you. Anthony and all, good morning. Hey, Showin, a pleasant good morning to you. Annie, good morning, Annie. Angela, good morning. Lenny, good morning. Lisa, good morning to you. Pingala, pleasant good morning to you. Ryan Charles, good morning. Rupert Lal, pleasant good morning to you. From Princeton, a pleasant good morning to you. Shanti, a pleasant good morning. Hey, Thomasine Peters, good morning to you. Angela Lochan, good morning. Bisnath Prasad, good morning. Hey, Don Lopez, a pleasant good morning to you. Samantra, good morning. Hey, Marie Charles, Can Penny, a pleasant good morning. Hey, Tom, good morning, Tom. Ramnet Chedi, good morning to you, my brother. Bizram, good morning. Ash, good morning to you, Ash. Hey, all Bodenettes. Motu, good morning to you.
The Ground Report with Mikey K, Andy Williams, and Lennox Smith.
Bix, where mean your phone out of charge? See we later. We on that, you know, Bix. It's 2025, you know. We all made that sacrifice, you know. We all know that everything in us. Now we phone charge. We ready to pull out with shoes. We ready to call our candidates. We ready to work. We ready to walk. We ready to make sure that we get rid of this taxing, lying, thieving government called the PNM. 5 more years. You ain't got no phone to charge. Because you ain't got no money to pay a damn current bill. So oi, charge that phone early. Charge that phone early, my brother. Hey, just Michael, good morning. Hey, Carla, young, hip, Black Chinese, good morning to you. Very early this morning, I want to hear what's on your mind. What's your headlines? What's your concerns? What's your front burner? Before I give mine. So let me test it early. What is the murder told? People dead yesterday? Sean. Good morning. Sean Roberts, good morning to you. Pass already. I think I see for Garo, a pleasant good morning to you. Michael, I agree with you. Michael said gospel song before we organize and get into the serious talk. Andre, good morning to you.
You are very disingenuous. You should have started that phone call this morning with once upon a time, because it's a whole lot of Nancy story. We don't want to know if your ancestors had no toilet when they come here. We don't want to know how much money you make and it had a boycott. No. Think about how much more you would have made if you did open your mouth and made a fool of yourself. You have a beef with Philip Alexander. Take it up with Philip Alexander. You anointed Philip Alexander's mouthpiece of the UNC. Kamala never did that. And you lied when you said Kamala and the UNC pushing race. You lied about that, Gary Aboud. Because that was never, Kamala never did anything like that. You were the one that said that you're going to side with anybody to get rid of Kamala and the UNC from the landscape of this country. If you're suffering from selective memory syndrome, we are not. Okay? We are not. We remembered everything that you said. So don't come now and try to do any moonwalk because it's not going to work. You hear? And you with the situational ethics and sanctimonious hypocrisy, talking about the Holy Spirit. The Holy Spirit must be real proud of you, boy. To see how you could paint an innocent woman as a racist. But then again, you're campaigning for your PNM, right? So if you feel anybody believe the crap that you coming with here this morning, think again. Good morning, Andy, Mikey, Lennox, newbie, and to everybody out there, and a happy, blessed, and safe New Year to each and every one. Andy, well, we have a newly minted PNM Senior Council. You know, the one who tell people to jump the wall, run up to the door, kick it down, and deal with them? Right. The newly minted Senior Council condemning Israel Khan's, Wayne Sturge and others, labeling them UNC lawyers for condemning the SOE. But you see, if some people had an ounce of brain, decent brain in their head, they would know. And they would have read the article, they would have listened to the interview, because they're upset, you know, right? That the Guardian interviewed them. She referred to them as the Jamet on St. Vincent Street, okay? If she had read it, she would have seen where they were talking about a SOE. They did not have regulations, right? What kind of SOE is that? I wish somebody could tell me, somebody could explain it to me. Because that SOE, without a curfew, right, restricting the movement of these criminals is useless. Everybody is saying the same thing. It is useless because they are still free to roam the country. But my senior council, right, cussing them up now, that UNC lawyers criticizing it and whatnot. Oh my God. I think one of the law lords should get in touch with her and offer her a seat on the Privy Council. Because I cannot believe that people can write and spew so much of garbage. But then again, what you expect from PNMites? They see nothing wrong in the city, but they were quick to condemn Kamala's SOE. But this one, nobody mustn't talk about it, right? And then one of them who just be on our chats, a PNMite, come talking about what Akash Samri needs some few taps for what? For speaking the truth. But you see what happened with PNMites. The truth is a dagger, just like facts, is a dagger in the heart of the PNM. Thanks a lot, guys. Take care and be safe. Andy, good morning to you, Mikey, Lennox, and you'll be again, and a happy new year to everybody out there. Andy, I sent you all a copy of Selwyn's Cudjoe article in Sunday's newspapers. One part of the where he's saying that we have to vote out the PNM, but I'll just read one little paragraph for you. The irony of the situation, it took a woman who they called a drunk, incompetent, and cannot be trusted to run the country to rescue the senior citizens from the squalor of falling deeper into poverty than they are now. Truer words were never said. That drunk, as all they want to call her, and one of them called Banme, said on Lennox chat last night that Kamala looked like she wouldn't last out the month, right? That she will die soon. I reminded him, when you're digging grave for people, what has happened? That is what hurted all of them. That this woman they tried to bring down, right, was able to stand up and fight for senior citizens. She was able to stand up and fight for people paying property tax. She made them bring it down from 5%, then it was 3%, and now it's 2%. She at first took them to court where they were threatening people that drunk. They were threatening people, and she got them to stop to take it to court, and they stopped it. And Imbert had to go back and switch around a comma here and a full stop there and whatever. Because of her, we got our local government elections that she had to take it to court, to the Privy Council. Because of her, we knew what they were doing with the Tobago terminal, and they're still lying about it. And she says she's standing her grounds. It's close to 500 million. We knew what was going on because of her with the Auditor General and the missing billions. So when all you want to come and talk about what is wrongdoing, right, and the incompetent woman doing, and sure she die in bed, remember all these things and more, because the sober man, the sober competent man can run a country. Under his watch is 650 murders and counting. We have a few hours again to go. And let the media continue hiding the wrongdoings of this government, and somebody out there is going to expose it. And now we can depend on people like Ralph Maraj, Ronald Bowler, and Selvin Kudrow and others to expose the lies of the PNM. And the last paragraph he said, asking them to leave office so that we can breathe a breath of fresh air. And that is our wish for 2025, that the PNM go and we can breathe a breath of fresh air.
Pleasant good morning, Andy, Mikey, Lennox. Yeah, maybe Lennox could answer this question after the fact. I guess we could keep your eyes on what is going on now. Everybody know where they are now concerning the SOE and the different problems we are addressing. But my thing is, let me look at the EBC right now. The EBC have done half of its paperwork. Now, they can't call election, or I believe they could call it, but as if the EBC go hire name register and all them kind of things, so it go kind of cause a lot of confusion. People going to the different polling station where they used to go before, only to find out they can't vote because their name not there on the list, and people go be going all over the place. So again, the EBC now, I believe, is the only one that really holding the trump card here now, because them gonna know what to do and when to do it. You understand? So again, the EBC is, I think, is the main problem right now. We gotta start focusing on the future now. We don't know what is going on. These people no matter come out of office. The election had a call. So let me fast forward. So who's the next problem pillar we have here now, which is the EBC. But Lennox have a question, boy. What about that swimming pool and thing up on the hills there, boy? That swimming pool still existing, or I know the youths and them taking a little swim and thing, and making it active. I ain't hearing nothing. Alright, blessings everyone. Mikey, I guess you're there, but he can't see us yet. But no problem, blessings. So again, Lennox, see if you could do some inquiry on that swimming pool if it's still. Hey Andy, morning again. Lennox, Mikey. Come on now, man. Let me stop this kind of thing, and they're taking up too much of this time with this, he say, she say, let me bygone be bygones, as they would say. Everybody make mistake. Big man thing, Mr. Abu would have to say, well, look, hey, I make a mistake. Alexander, sorry. Alexander, likewise, and maybe move on. Just don't prolong this thing, man. You understand that we just keep putting wedges along people, and we gotta move forward with this thing, man. We can't just focus on this, too long, as you would say. We have a task ahead, and we need to move forward. And just take a page in life. There be just things, because people say a lot of things in the past. I got an example. We using Mr. Japon as an example, and hey, bygones be bygones. So stop this kind of thing, man. This little childish thing, man. Come on, wasting their time, man. I think, let we just say this, shake hands and sing Kumbaya, and then we move forward now. And, yeah, come on. We have one objective, all right? So let me move forward with this. Andy, listen to the first voice note there. All right, blessings.
Hey, Lennox, is it right that Stuart Young could give a statement like that, being as a junior minister and a minister of energy? Is this the position of the Prime Minister, Attorney General, and the Chief Justice also? And then forward it to the President? Did they break any part of the law while doing that? Could you answer that for me, please, Lennox?
Morning, Andy. Gary didn't see when the people from Venezuela coming across the sea because he's fishermen and friends of the sea. He didn't see that, but he see Kamala.
Morning, Andy. Andy for Gandhi. So Andy for everybody. Morning, Andy. Orlando Lockdown. Andy, what Michaela Pandey trying to do? Win 2 votes? She and she mom? Is that what she's trying to do? Get 2 votes? She ain't going to get more than 2, or maybe 3, she lucky. Why is it only women sit home and try to support somebody and talk instead of campaigning that she's not going to win nothing, not even 2 votes or 3 votes she get? Michaela, take advice from me, who know your dad, who was a sugar worker. My father was a great sugar worker, and he knows. And I also work in the sugar field. And they tell Michaela to stay home now and learn how to cook. Talk to you later.
Good morning, Andy, my friend. Yellow is the code. Don't get distracted by people like Gary Aboud. You all wasted precious airtime with his foolish statements. He definitely trying to put a spoke in the UNC election machine. The PNM is your problem, and everyone over the age of 18 years has to be called upon to save TNT from the downward spiral that the country is going through. So remain focused, friends. The elections will soon be here. It's up to you all to get the voters ready for change. Let's be safe out there today, people. Are you dancing at Pargos later tonight? Lennox.
The Ground Report with Mikey K, Andy Williams, and Lennox Smith.
Good morning, Andy. Good morning, Andy. Locked on and listening. Anytime you have a child, please don't name it Gary at all. Gary Aboud is trouble. Gary Griffith, trouble. Gary Griffith, motorboat out of time, and only talking one set of nutritionists all over the place. Only blaming Kamala too for everything. Kamala and Raul is the problem, he said. Oh God, Father, you done this stupid man go stop by.
Make government work for the people rather than have the people work to keep a government in place. We must make government work for the people rather than have the people work to keep a government in place.
Bang, 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 bang.
The Ground Report with Mikey K, Andy Williams, and Lennox Smith.
Oh Lord.
The Ground Report with Mikey K, Andy Williams, and Lennox Smith.
Water you turned into wine. Open the eyes of the blind. There's no one like you. None like you. Into the darkness you shine. we shine. Out of the ashes we rise. There's no one like you. None like you. Our God is greater. Our God is stronger. God, you are higher than any other. Our God is healer. Awesome in power. Our God. Our God. Our God is greater. Our God is stronger. God, you are higher than any other. Our God is healer. Awesome in power. Our God. Our God. And if our God is for us, then who could ever stop us? And if our God is with us, then what can stand against? And if our God is for us, then who could ever stop us? And if our God is with us, then what can stand against? Stand against. Our God is greater. Our God is stronger. God, you are higher than any other. Our God is healer. Awesome in power. Our God. Our God. Our God is greater. Our God is stronger. God, you are higher than any.
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy.
Our God is
Well, Lennox Smith, I'm seeing in the Express this morning. Prosecutors run scared. What's your thoughts? And besides that, a massive funeral for Lisa.
for us. Then who could ever stop
A call for tribute to Lisa's life.
us?
But I'm also calling for a deserving call for the life of many people that lost their lives in fires because of lack of fire truck or water.
Then what can stand
And the many people, if our police service was equipped when it comes to detection,
against?
that lives could have been saved. I also see here activists. Activists at this point in time, what I'm seeing here is also right, activist contest why the powers of SOE. That's in the Express. Just want to hear your thoughts, and we've seen there too official Akikobi Hector there, the killing of him.
Oh yes indeed, quite a lot, my friend. Are you hearing me loud and clear?
Loud and clear. So on the first one.
Good morning to all in Century, East, West, North, South, Central, or French Tobago, and wherever you are, streaming on the World Wide Web, a pleasant good day to you. Yes, indeed, of course, these are very pertinent issues that we need discussion. But I think before I engage those three that you mentioned, I want to say that I am extremely concerned with respect to the absence of Dr. Rowley at that press conference. You see, as I throw my mind on it and I ideate or contemplate, I realized there was no reason, frankly, for him, including, of course, that tragic, as he put it, death of his brother, to avoid him taking the frontal role in announcing this very, what I consider to be very, very important and far-reaching measure that he himself said that is an exercise in futility if you use such a draconian measure to treat with crime, because there are other laws. At that time, he was, of course, in opposition. And of course, as Prime Minister sometime in the past. So there's a different incarnation of him. He seemed to metamorphosize very quickly, whether in government or out of government. You see, I'm saying this now, and I would love the population, of course, to help me with this one. From what Stuart Young and they would have said, that they were engaged. I don't know if it's physically or if he was in Tobago, but of course the technology will allow, of course, robbing to take place, video conferencing, etc. We are not clear on that, but of course I have to assume that according to Stuart Young, they were engaged, because he said that both he, Stuart Young, and Fitzgerald Hines were summoned by the Prime Minister. So I assume it has to be at the diplomatic center. Now, after that, by midnight, whether Dr. Rowley had this urgent need to be in Tobago as a consequence of his brother's funeral and left, I am saying that nothing prevented Dr. Rowley from either taking these two guys if he wanted them, or making the statement from Tobago. You see, he was not in Barbados, he was not in Grenada, he was not in the United States, he was not in any, but he was within the jurisdiction. So I cannot accept that level of dereliction of duty, and more significantly, the disrespect and the arrogance and contempt that this man has for the population of Trinidad and Tobago. You will forgive me if, of course, I harp on that, because I think it is significant. And, of course, the law associations, and I think to a lesser degree, the business community did make mention of the fact that Dr. Rowley ought to have led from in front. And leading from in front does not mean that it is your government that instituted a state of emergency. You see, it is reminiscent of when the crime talks, which has an impact on what we are experiencing now, and why they implemented, of course, a state of emergency. When the crime talks was initiated, of course, or recommended by the opposition leader, Dr. Rowley said, all right, he will meet with his team, and eventually delegated that responsibility to some underlink, I think, to be led by the Attorney General, knowing full well that the Attorney General was persona non grata as far as the opposition is concerned, because it was fresh in everybody's mind that he lied to a tribunal in, of course, the United States. And therefore the appellation, the pseudonym, the false name, the sobriquet that was given to him, and still is, they started to call him Limo. Why would Dr. Rowley be so insulting and so insensitive? So I want to tell the population, do not be forgiving and do not accept the argument until Dr. Rowley can come with a more plausible. He was not out of the jurisdiction. He was in Tobago. Tobago is part of Trinidad and Tobago. He could have, of course, either take his ministers if he wanted these two guys to be there, or he himself could have made the statement from the Prime Minister's residence in Tobago, which I assume is there he went on his visit, of course, to Tobago, whether for funeral of his brother or not. So I dismiss that all entirely. It is a contempt of the people and a dereliction of duty and responsibility. Yeah, so let me get to the three items.
The first one, the first one is prosecutors are running scared.
Well, why not? Why not? I mean, one of their colleagues was mown down in the wee hours just before midnight and the turn of the year, and up to now there is a mystery as to why, although there are some indication that it was a call from somewhere, whether behind bars or not. But when I delve further into this matter about some gang leader, I realized that the gang leader won his case. But of course, obviously, if he had to take up role at the Besson Street Police Station, it means that there is some other pending matter. Whether the victim of this heinous and horrendous crime, they are talking about the late Mr. Hector, attorney at law. I am not clear on that matter whether or not this gang leader of which they speak was in fact involved or the subject of the prosecution that he might have been engaged in. That is a matter that it is still mysterious to me or is engaging my attention. But the fact of the matter is that if I were them, I would have been. And what it does as well is vindicate. Let me repeat. I hold no brief for the DPP, but it vindicates the concern of the DPP to not occupying that building that we, the taxpayers, were only them caused to be paying $55, I believe they're about $1 million to rent in order, of course, to accommodate the DPP. Because as I told someone on the program last night on the corridor, that building I know very well is situated on Park Street and in very close proximity to what is called Bad Street. But Bad Street is already a sort of high geographic area, meaning that it is almost a hill. But on that hill, you also have, I think, 1, 2, 3, 4, about a 5 or 6 story buildings constructed by the AGC. So it's very easy now to be above all of the building, and the building on Park Street, which was designated and which caused the irony of course, Dr. Rowley claiming that, of course, here it is profligacy. The DPP is responsible for the waste of that money, etc., but not consulting with the DPP to find out its appropriacy. But from the top or any one of the higher floors on that high rise on Bad Street, yes, a person can use the very ammunition that they say that is in the possession of gangsters. They could easily, of course, pick off anybody inside of that glass building that, of course, the government unilaterally, it appears from what we know. The DPP said he is yet, of course, he is reticent. He is yet to, of course, pronounce on the matter definitely. But I'm sure that with the fullness of time, that will. But my common sense tells me that the fears of the DPP was justifiable, and having regard, of course, to what transpired on All Year's night, clearly vindicates that position that the DPP has taken, and therefore justify the fears. In fact, I understand that they boycotted court, I think yesterday, and it appears that level of trepidation is very, very, very real among the attorneys that are supposed to be prosecuting cases of a criminal nature associated with the DPP. So I say that in other words, their fears are justifiable. What is the other
oh boy. Now, well, the next one I could just go through it. I don't want to be too long. I want to touch these things on them. Want to hear more from what them saying, and then we go just get thoughts. They're saying tax embassy.
Those were 2 items that I wanted. One more I would love to enter. If somebody calls, well, certainly I will give way.
Tax embassy.
Of the regulations. You see, on first glance, I too was concerned about regulation number 2. That regulation speaks to, of course, people not being able to talk. Yes, that one being able to talk. Let me just read it quickly. The regulation 12A says, no person shall endeavor, whether orally or otherwise, to influence public opinion in a matter likely to be prejudicial to public safety and order. And when I heard that one, and now I'm reading it, I was concerned that probably you or I or Mikey or any other program of a nature where we are criticizing the government, whether over enthusiastic police officer would of course see that as infringing this particular regulation 12A, and therefore of course take action under the SOE. So, and of course, this is now being challenged in court. So I'm thankful for that person who saw it fit. I think is an activist. Her name. Let me get the name. The name. I have it somewhere there. But anyhow, she has asked the court. She has caused her lawyers to send a pre-action protocol letter to question the wide-ranging nature of the so-called public order. And these regulations that included, of course, that one among about two others, but I think that one is the crucial one that has attracted my attention and must be concerned for you and I. Yes, the blogger is, of course, activist Vishal or Vishal Prasad, and of course, her lawyers are now pursuing that matter. But have already issued a pre-action protocol letter to the Attorney General and the President, and asking the court, of course, at the same time, to clear the air on these two matters. Because this matter, remember, the two ministers said in no uncertain terms that it was for specifically to prevent, of course, a bloodbath consequential of the possible retaliation as a result of the killing in front of the Besson Street police station. So how does, of course, curtailing our right to speak, and in an election year, I too am very concerned that we have a government, because we were tear gassed, we were, of course, held. Dr. Rowley and they will take no responsibility, but how do you determine who would benefit from it? Well, you determine if they have the greatest advantage to get from the exercise. And when people started to say, Rowley must go, that tear gas team from the police service started, of course, to discharge these canisters of tear gas indiscriminately in the crowd, across the road, etc. Even persons passing with their vehicles, innocent, not part and parcel of the protest, were, of course, subjected to that very noxious substance. So I'm making the point that Dr. Rowley and they have demonstrated that they are prepared, of course, to engage in draconian and coercive action once you have, of course, persons in the police service that are prepared, of course, so to do. I remember very distinctly when the people were charged, including, of course, Michael Kerr, our colleague in Pushback 1. I remember I was the one who communicated with the police as to the presence of such a march only for procedural purposes. We didn't ask for permission. We didn't need any permission. We knew that from the decision of the courts that we can gather in public places for the purposes of course protesting. But of course, if we have to march, is a different story. So we were gathered there. And I heard on the other side, an officer from not from the Besson, but from the Belmont police station say that Smith, and we'll have to look. In other words, I'm paraphrasing here. We'll have to look very careful now as to what he sends to us in terms of matters like this. In other words, if he knew that we were gathering in that large number, they might have, of course, orchestrate some, of course, impediment to avoid that from happening. Even though, of course, we still got 32 or 34 persons charged for under the regulation at the time, the health regulation. So I thought I should bring that up to tell the people that we have a task on our hands. Dr. Rowley is prepared of course, use the coercive elements of the state in order to stay in office. And that is why, of course, I have upgraded my 27 seats for Kamala Prasad Bisesa in the UNC to 39 seats in Trinidad, having regard to the fact that he, again, has flip-flopped and has initiated another faux pas because on the day of the regulations being announced, not only hours after someone was killed, but then of course this attorney, and then of course having the DPP department in a total state of trepidation and deep concern is another indictment of this administration, that they don't rationalize things, they don't clearly think out their policies and programs, quite apart from what Mikey said yesterday about the upgraded advisories against Trinidad and Tobago internationally, while we were regaled with the optimism of Stuart Young that the commerce will not be affected. Yeah, right. Yeah, right.
So true.
Yes, Andy.
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Trinidad and Tobago, the lines are open. Send your voice notes. What's on your front burner? What's your fight? What people supposed to know that they don't? I just want to give you all a public information here. The tax amnesty extended to January 31st. The tax amnesty, which was set to end on the last day of the year, has been extended until the end of January. Finance Minister Colin Burt announced. The Minister of Finance, the Honorable Colin Burt MP, wishes to advise that the tax amnesty and the National Insurance amnesty introduced by the Finance Act 2024, which expired December the 31st, 2024, will be extended to January the 31st, 2025. A release from the Finance Ministry stated, in this regard, the necessary order to extend the deadline will be published by the retroactive to December. That was published. That deadline will be published by retroactive to, or will be published retroactive to December 31st, 2024. It stated, Imbert reminded the public that the extended tax amnesty covers penalties and interest on the unpaid taxes for the previous years, as well as for the income year ended December 31st, 2023. The taxes include property tax, individual income tax, pay as you earn, PAYE, and health surcharge, and corporation taxes. So it covers all of that. So trying to make sure the lines are open. Lennox Smith, any quick thoughts on that while the lines are open here?
There's some 17 different taxes. Some 17 different taxes that would have been given an extension of amnesty to the end of January. The National Insurance, however, are saying that if you don't pay up yours, then of course the fines and penalties will not be considered, and you have to pay the entire sum. I suppose what this is intimidation in the in, of course, as typical of this government, to, of course, force people. In other words, they have instituted a state of emergency that cause people, of course, to, under normal circumstances, say, well, listen, well, why would you do that? You have 15 days and then you have another 3 months and possibly the optimum of 6 months. Why would you now, of course, implement a state of emergency if you know you want the taxes? So what they have done, they have taken it front and tell you, well, listen, we're going to extend it to January 30th. I don't know if the 15 days will be up before then. And let's see if they will extend the state of emergency. I suppose it will be dependent on how the population responds to it. And of course, at this stage, it is an asinine measure that was taken, and as one attorney said, Lala said, that if it is that you know you have that state of emergency, why did you protect, of course, these lawyers? And Mr. Hector's life could have been saved. So you have all of these scenarios. So I don't think the plan, if it is, of course, to frustrate the people and to go as close as possible to the election date, the maximum date, or try to use it as an excuse to postpone elections, because Rowley has accused the Kamala Prasad-Bissessar of doing that. I see no reason why Rowley will not truly do it, having regard, of course, to all of the faux pas and all of the contradictions and the reneging of issues that he would have raised in the past, but in government, he, of course, pursue them with extreme vigor. Among the other taxes, of course, is hotel accommodation tax, the corporation tax, yes, a club gaming tax, a business levy tax, of course, the insurance premium tax, a green fund levy, yes, that too, tax on financial services, a value added tax as well. You have a petroleum profits tax, you have, of course, supplemental petroleum tax, you have unemployment levy. Thank God that is only designated for the petroleum and, of course, the energy industry, and stamp duty. All of those taxes have been given a deadline to the end of January. But it also tells me that if you have issued such an elaborate statement from the Ministry of Finance, how desperate our finances are, and how the Ministry of Finance is desperate for funding at this point in time, having regard, of course, to the reduction drastically of our reserves and the dipping into the Heritage and Stabilization Fund, and very little, of course, much less of excess liquidity for the banks to, of course, encourage business, except, of course, for the 1%ers as we know them to be.
Nice, and I'm seeing here Mubarak Mohammed is saying the government owing citizens tax return, the government owing people money, but they want them own, and they're not paying people what they owe.
They are not paying. They are not paying their dues as far as VAT is concerned. They're not giving back the businesses their portion of the money. In fact, they have made a statement that if they are owing you over $100,000, well, 100,000 below, they will pay you cash. But if it's over 100,000, they'll give you part cash and they will give you bonds.
My God.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Basically, of our reserves and
yes.
So that is the state of play. So the economy is bad. The cash flow is bad. There is no outside, of course, of the oil, gas, and petrochemical.
Barack Mohammed is saying the government. Well, I wonder where the hell goes with this.
You have to question, because we have some 12 companies, because of Dr. Rowley's so-called negotiation, the best salesman of gas. These companies has exited Trinidad and Tobago with extreme haste, and then, of course, you had the spending unnecessarily of that 400 million on Train 1, and claiming that somehow that has a nexus with getting a little percentage of shares in Train 2 and 3. I think that Dr. Rowley really and truly has created a situation for Trinidad and Tobago, not only of a banana republic nature, but people are talking about Haiti Haiti, and if you're comparing us with Haiti and Somalia and so on, you should know that that is considered to be a failed state scenario. So we need to get back Trinidad and Tobago to where it ought to be, with, of course, the advent of Kamala Persad-Bissessar having been, of course, been vindicated by both Rowley, his policies, and the lies that he would have issued to the population to fool them into believing that somehow the PNM is the panacea. But it has turned out that the stone that the builder rejected, that is to say, the rejecting of Kamala Persad-Bissessar, has turned out to be the person that must be taking over the reins of power and office in this country.
Oh boy. Well, I'm organize and play. Go ahead and play this thing here. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Time check. Yes, it's 12 minutes in the hour of 8 o'clock. And it's your turn now. It's your turn now. Go ahead.
Andy, sorry, I missed out one more thing. Tell Makila she cannot be like she died. Okay? Sometimes the kid.
Just now, the partner. Go ahead, Mr. Tunapuna, you go ahead.
Good morning, ground report. Tunapuna here, fellas. Andy, Lennox, Mikey.
Good morning, sir.
Family. Ground report family. I am saying that, flags should not be flown at half-mast when somebody died, somebody of prominence. The flag should remain half-mast throughout until this government goes, because they have killed this country. There seems to be little hope. It's hopelessness, helplessness, and helplessness in terms of anything at all. Look, for instance, how much time they keep extending this issue here, Andy, with the repayment.
The taxes.
The taxes and what that. How much time they supposed to, they have to do that? But you as the small people, if you any strong at all, anyway you violate any thing, they come in for you. But I want to say this. They talk about the SOEs for dealing with crime and whatnot and things. And rightfully so, it is so then. Crime is not only the little black boy with guns and things and whatnot. You have the criminal with white-collar crime, including members of the government, including the Prime Minister, the Attorney General, and all others who have been found wanting and allegations of corruption and can be proven. Because we have instances where the Attorney General keeps lying to the population, and especially with the Auditor General report, the Minister of Finance, all of them, keep rolling with so much fictitious transactions and things, housing property and all kind of thing and whatnot. Lennox, Andy, I want to tell all the fellas something this morning here. I don't know, Lennox, if you're so, I'll get you, I'll be aware that I forget the person's name, wrote take legal action against the government in terms of the state of emergency, the
regulations. Yes,
the regulations.
Yeah.
Right. Let me tell the people something. All what they're talking about, because there are no curfew and whatnot and things. This thing, what they have, how they designed this, is even deadlier than not having curfew. Because why? They could infringe on your rights by any means possible. Breaking your no warrant, not at all. Arrest you, have you in prison until keeping you extended, no bail and all this kind of thing. But this whole thing that Lennox have me very concerned. Is this issue with this thing that the guy is suing, taking legal action against the government with respect to that? I think it's clause 11 or something like that, Lennox?
12,
and you
12, 14, and 2. Not clause, they are regulations, yeah.
Regulations.
12, 14, and 2, yes.
Right, and you know what it entails.
Yes.
I think freedom of speech.
Freedom of speech, yes.
Right, because what it is saying is that if you say anything that could incite, public concern and create any kind of situation that, you could be arrested. And I am saying this could happen to the ground report because remember Rowley made a threat to the ground report, stating that You know what is the thing? Is to shut them down. Shut them up.
Well
And with the pothounds and them, the police and them, who just carry out the dictate of the government. They will do it, and, because why? They have the protection of the state. They don't have to suffer any consequences if they make any wrongful arrest and whatever. It's you, the individual, have to suffer. And why I'm saying this more so, Lennox, this is a concern that is raised by many attorneys. Where that is concerned, and I am reading yesterday's Express, Newsday, where Attorney Jagley is saying, also criticized Regulation 12, which he described as a muzzle on public commentary. The regulation makes it a criminal offense to write, distribute, or share certain information on social media or other platforms with the potential for arrest and prosecution. He pointed out that the regulation is vague, casting doubt on its ability to meet legal standards of clarity and certainty. So, Lennox, if people want to understand this, if you make any statements at all, if even you're bad of the government, you could be arrested, Lennox.
That's what the attorneys are saying, yes.
And you see, you're looking at it, it's coming from not only from UNC people, but you see it coming from prominent attorneys. You know that this whole thing is just a charade to silence people. Because there are so much issues that are at hand. And then if you raise some concern, they could say some of these things are sub judice because it is in the court and all this kind of thing. So they're looking for anything possible for anybody, including and when they hear Stuart Young talk about they wouldn't stymie protest action and demonstrations and whatever, they're fooling people. Because in a state of emergency, nobody would want to apply to have a march or a protest or anything like that. Am I right, Lennox?
That's right. Yeah, and they know that because it's an intimidation, implicit intimidatory tactic. That is what that is all about. Yeah.
Lennox, everything that you could put it in what it tantamount to bullying. This is what this government is doing. It's bullying people and the violation of your fundamental rights, your freedom of movement and speech and whatnot. It is the early stages of dictatorship. And when you're using the military, your security personnel to stymie people from speaking out, this only happens in communist countries, Lennox. And I don't know what it is really going, because now you're seeing that Israel Khan and plenty other attorneys and things is questioning this whole state of emergency. All right, if you want to go after the criminal element and then, why couldn't you do it if you had all that information before? Why didn't you go? Huh? And you could arrest them and do what you had to do within the framework of the law because the police have that authority. But you see, this is not only to deal with the criminal element. This is to hush people. Because all the things that people have been exposing them with the airport scandal, with the pension issue, with the Auditor General and all these things, and so much other things, that they decide that, hey, this is a form that we can keep people silent, use a state of emergency. You understand? But I am saying that this whole issue, it's really to take away your fundamental rights. And I am calling. Well, you can't call on the Attorney General. But look, could you imagine, Lennox, we have a declaration of a state of emergency. The Prime Minister wasn't there at the press conference to make that pronouncement. Neither the Attorney General. The Chief Justice is out of the country as well because they have an acting, which is Beru. So you want to tell me...
the Prime Minister was not out of the country. He was in Tobago.
He was in Tobago.
All right, go ahead.
And you had cocktail party. Yeah. You had cocktail party and you're playing golf. So tell me what is more important. Huh? Because I was reading an article where the Americans... Hello? Hello?
Yes, go ahead. Go ahead. Hold on, next caller. Go ahead, Mr. Tunapuna.
Yeah, where the American government is now making statements about the state of emergency in Trinidad and Tobago. It is not only again a feedback, Andy.
Caller, turn down your device anyhow because you have to listen to us on the on the television, on your phone. So turn on the device. As Mr. Tunapuna done, there is your turn.
Andy, my TV off. I on the phone alone. I know nothing. But I still get.
No, not you.
I am not close to any device.
All right, but hold on. Go ahead, finish, Mr. Tunapuna.
Andy, this thing is creating a. I'm still getting that feedback. It's creating a serious concern outside of Trinidad and Tobago. Because all the countries, they are sending out travel advisories, and apart from travel advisories, investors and all these kind of things are going to have serious repercussions in terms of our economy. This thing could have a serious impact, but it's why I'm saying go those people. Because when Kamala Pataki used to be raising and the opposition in the parliament about all the crime and the economy and whatnot.
Caller, again, really getting a feedback from you that I ain't getting him too clean, so I'll have to cut you until he finishes. You have a call back. Go ahead, Mr. Tunapuna.
Yeah, that what we're seeing now, Andy, is the whole state of the economy is in crisis. This is why you see so desperate that they want to collect these taxes and whatnot. And I want to say that they're not paying VAT returns, no the tax returns and whatnot, and they're desperate for money. This is why you see they want to introduce the property tax and all of that. They pipe out all the money, they thief out all the money, and
you said the right thing. The pipe out the money, boy. Don't change your mind. The pipe out the money, they sprung out everything.
It's a serious business now. That the country, because I see now excellent stores, another stores, three stores, I think it is. One in San Fernando and one in West Mall, long. Okay. One of these malls. They're closing. These businesses are closing down. But you're not seeing it, you're not hearing anything about it. Because why? Mainstream media wouldn't publish this thing. Because why? It will show that the economy, the country has collapsed under this government. And the only thing that right now that we could really hope for is that Keith Rowley and Ole Kola election. Because I am saying this, if you hear when Kamala Prasad and the OVNC win that election, and they start to lock up people will make jail for them, you know. Because why? The pressure they put on poor people, you cannot get work, you have to commit crime, your family is displacement and everything. The health situation, the water, the roads, and everything, and whatnot. This is what will create the suffering of people. Not that because of poverty or other commit crime. But when you put this kind of pressure on people, where would they resort to? What would they turn to? And for all of them, all these issues are there to make the deal. Okay, fellas, take care.
All right, thank you very much. And only let me try to make it short and sweet to be able to give other people the opportunity. You see people talking 5, 6, 7 minutes, and them that is too long. Only make all a point at least within a minute and a half, 2 minutes maximum, and let us get other people on board. But Mr. Tunapuna bring up some very, 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 very interesting, very, very, very serious
If you don't have our callers yet, I'd like to read out Regulation 40. It's pretty short, but I think it's pertinent because, as I said, it will affect you and I and Mikey and other persons who would want to, of course, say what is happening in Trinidad and Tobago freely and without impediment. But
before I do that, let me just take this call. Go ahead, caller.
Go ahead, take the call, yes.
New Year's greeting to each and every one. What an awesome God we serve. Anne Brown here. Good morning, Andy. Good morning, Mr. Lennox, Mikey K, Director, our Gael family, Workers Platform, and to each and every one on the live stream. And this morning, I am pleased to say that our Monday night forum is back. It's our first meeting. Will be held this coming Monday, the 6th of January, 2025. Place UNC headquarters, 31 Motion Sujan Street Road, Chaguanas, time 7 p.m. Please come out and support. Our political leader will be speaking alongside other speakers. Have a blessed day, gentlemen. We want to live better.
Nice. Now read that act for us, Lennox Smith. Read that act for us. Let us hear what will affect the Ground Report program and bloggers and people who have that voice.
Yes, I read earlier Regulation 12, so let me read Regulation 14.1, which of course the lawyers are concerned about, and we should be as well. It says a police officer may arrest without warrant any person whom he suspects has acted or is acting or is about to act in a manner prejudicial to public safety or to public order, or to have committed or is committing or is about to commit an offense against these regulations, and such a police officer may take such steps and use such force, let me repeat, and use such force as may appear to him to be necessary for affecting the arrest or preventing the escape of such persons. Yes, that is Regulation 14. Of course, it comes after Regulation 12 that says no person shall endeavor, whether orally or otherwise, to influence public opinion in a manner likely to be prejudicial to public safety and order. In other words, it is left to the interpretation of the police officer to determine whether or not something is prejudicial to public safety. This is an election year. The government, by default, must be criticized having regard to their performance, and therefore the statement by the minister acting, of course, as Attorney General, to tell us that public statements and, of course, public gatherings will not be affected, does not equate. It is not concomitant with, of course, these two regulations. And there's another one which we will examine later down the road. Of course, I wanted to give you an opportunity to, as much as we can, to, of course, ventilate. So I don't know if you have a caller there.
Go ahead, caller.
Morning, on this meeting, Mikey K. A couple of issues. This SOE, we have to measure the success of it. And what do I mean? Two basic issues they have told us, Small Pen has told us about. A proliferation of guns and reprisal of gangs. So we have to determine how successful we are with retrieving guns off the streets, right? A year ago, November 2023, a year, 5 months or 3 months, I think there was an intelligence report, it was documented on the paper that there were 12,000 guns circulating, right?
Yes.
How do we measure success? I, who know a little bit of SA mathematics, not like Balmati, you understand? 70% of that 12,000, you have to retrieve it to tell me it's successful. 70% of 12,000 is 8,400 guns. That is what they had to retrieve. Now, the only person who I see coming close to that, but mightn't be able to get go get a 50 by 2 on thing. Remember, I done a senior superintendent named Alexander when he went and get two large cash somewhere up in the hills and thing, and they never owe nobody for that. So that is one of the reasons. The other one is tight pants. You remember tight pants? In the first 2 months, he went to Parliament and he said he have the names of all those gang members, number, address, girlfriend, mamu, auntie, all of that. It had a number. I was trying to get it, but I don't get it. We have to get at least 70% of those gang members held, prosecuted. If that is not achieved, then we have no success with this SOE. The end result is, this is a moment. This is basically to silence people. The other issue is that the first day of the SOE, I see Ula come out and she had a press conference and she gave me some stats. And I think one of the interesting stats I saw was 532 stop and search. That is a success for Ula. Imagine that. The day of policing was similar to that, or more than that. And they only get about 2 guns and three ticketing for no insurance and things like that. So those are the stupid things that comes out of Ula. Ula, if she had any integrity, any honesty, she would have gone forfeit and resigned. But you know what she did? She fixed up the commissioner's
Good morning.
Hold on. He's only wrapping up call. The next call. Hold on. Go ahead. She fixed up what?
Her house in barracks. She spent her whole money refurbishing, so she want to enjoy it for 2-3 years or 4 years, and KCR basically facilitating. And the last of it, $50 million I had to spend, me and my partner. And he came to Trinidad for the funeral, and he gone back to Tobago to have a press conference at 2 o'clock today. Imagine that, spending money flying left, right. I wonder if it's because of Akash boy. You afraid Akash boy, all of a sudden Akash intimidating by asking them a hard question. I go on high. Enjoy your morning.
Thank you very much. Just now, next caller, which is Rasa Researcher. I hope you all, one quick minute. I hope you all understand what it is Lennox Smith is saying, based on this draft. Remember, they call it without having the draft with it. And in the draft, you're hearing where it's more the public they're going at, and what we have to say, and what this and what that, and nothing about the guns and the same inflation of guns and this and that is we more concentrating on we. To me, listen to what Lennox Smith had to say. Go ahead, caller.
Yeah, good morning. Well, I want to get some clarity on something else. Good morning, Trinidad and Tobago. Special good morning to Mr. Gary Aboud. Right? Don't love Mr. Gary. We love listen. Here what is going on. I went to refer me to St. Anne's East. Yesterday I did make a contribution, right? I don't call the program for the tag about nobody, because last year it's a tag amongst the callers and them, and this one and that one and that one. I didn't come there for that, right? Yesterday my contribution was more or less a solution driven, in the sense that what we could do if things didn't work in the favor. Not trying to be negative, but we deal with reality. But Mr. Barapo come out and talk about this and that and we to the plan B and thing. Mr. Barapo, let me tell you something. I vote PNM already, and I vote UNC. I from St. Anne's East. Right? It is very difficult for the UNC to win this seat here. Right? After the 2020 election, after this current government decimate the oil refinery, and they come back and they win the 2 seats in San Fernando and the 0.14 seat, that speaks volume, my brother. So we come here, so no talk about it with nobody. I just come to make a contribution, you make a contribution, and I understand you. You understand? Because let me tell you something, all you want to talk about Patriot, Andy, Andy. You can tell them. When them sleeping in the bed, all 2-3 o'clock in the morning, we in Ogaro, Plum Trace, Chinapu, right? Never Dirty, Caledonia, 9th Avenue Extension.
Where boy, you say call it Caledonia? Where boy was a researcher? Ready early gone boy, now we gotta get he back. They get he back. Why? Because he calling various areas, so if it go on the man talking sense, so they don't get tied up. The tie areas will be sure that is not just so the UNC will win or if it go. So let's hear. Because
I think we ventilated that last night, and he called in last night, and of course we said, and I agree with him, out of an abundance of caution, it is good planning to have a plan B or C, as the case may be, simply because in human circumstance, it is a human situation. People, of course, may well act against their best interests. And I like the idea that he was saying that maybe the ground report team should now coalesce itself into a political party as a way, of course, to address the problem as well, which I thought was leaving all the options open, and nothing wrong with that. So I too would
you're there still, right, partner?
It is wrong to, of course, if he felt that way, well, I don't think he meant it, but if he felt that way, to condemn, of course, these kinds of ideas, because it is a human situation we are in, and it is not one that is fixed the science, so to speak. In other words, anything could happen.
Well, boy, at the end of the day, he here and he go talk for himself. Go ahead, my brother. I want to hear what you want to say. Go ahead.
Yeah, the call job that's not. I said, was not talking the phone. The call job now. Right? As I was saying, all I just call to make my contribution like everybody else, being coming to pick on nobody decision. And that's another thing. Why I talk about yesterday, I know what I talking about. And the whole country see that the PNM come back and win the 2 San Fernando seat and the Point Fortin seat. Right? So the place, why try to draw the reference that the place polarized. Just like how it have the PNM Sekofan, it had the UNC Sekofan the same way I do. But at the end of the day, the UNC is the better party, better policies, and everything. And I explained to the audience before, I vote the PNM already, and I vote the UNC. I don't know that I have a level head, you understand? And I understand what is right and wrong, I understand what is going on. So don't come and tell me about, oh, you know, plan B, I don't think. You don't in Barapo, I don't know if you fall on that table and Moruga, don't let us show you UNC seat. I know why you're talking about from my constituency. You understand what I'm saying? My street alone, most of the trend up at the secondary school, I know what I'm talking about. It's more than 17 or 18 years them trend up in the SCA exam in South and get all the kids scholarship and everything. What is going on up here? I talk about on behalf of my constituency. I know what's going on up here. So what I want to talk about,
and we're trying to say on a level head and with all respect is that some of the people who from outside of these PNM constituencies, they're really and truly saying things they really don't know of. Really and truly don't know of. You live in there, you will know it, which is no different to Lennox Smith when he's talking about Laverty. Exactly. He knows what he's saying. So if you're power or you're wherever, you don't know what is the situation in these PNM constituencies. I born and going to go Martin Bagatelle. I understand it.
Let me tell you something. I explained to all of us now. Them he can talk how much you want, Andy, you know Andy, all hours of the night. All hours of the night. I work in the hotspot areas alone. My DC co-worker handle issues and about 3 years. I see me rolling by myself all hours of the night, boy. By myself, boy. So when you come and jump and talk about another plan B, boy, just make a contribution and if you have the same and look for the tag out with the body, boy. The place polarized, boy. The place polarized. I tell you, if the UNC don't get through this election, we gotta do something different. Plain talk bad manners. You understand? Because just like how it have African-based voters, I've been talking about race, I've been trying to change the program to a different direction. Right? It have people in the UNC not voting the PNM. Whether it's a good PNM cabinet, they're not going to vote the PNM, I don't know that. You understand? So don't talk about the plan B. You understand? Because that's how most Trinbago do this thing narrow. Because if Dr. Eric Williams used to think broad,
like we lost say again, boy. If Dr. Eric Williams used to think broad, that's the last thing I hear yesterday, boy. Oh boy. I'm going to call you back. Let's just finish that contribution there. It is very important that each and everyone learn from each and everyone. I can't talk about a constituency when we born and grow and thing. Go ahead. If Dr. Eric Williams, what?
I say if Dr. Eric Williams, right, all due respect to the doctor, right, if these fellas of them had broad vision, our infrastructure and certain things that are be more advanced than where it is. You understand? For example, right, Lennox could really put talking to what's that Zimbabwe road from down to Belmont to back up to Ready Junction there. That road in narrow, one vehicle can barely pass there. So if them had vision before and like the place that developed, so that road had never be so. You feel what I'm talking about, Uncle Lennox?
Yeah. I've seen it all now in my mind, of course.
But there's why I tell you, don't come and look talk with the body and try to take the program to a different direction. You speak on behalf of what you experiencing down there, and everybody respect everybody contribution. Because that people probably try that everybody feel like the solution, everybody feel it no. Everybody feel it no. It was a certain man, he was the commissioner of police, like he alone feel like he alone can deal with national security, like nobody else. He alone know it all. You think? And that will be problem. That will be problem. That's why the place can never go forward because everybody have a different opinion. You understand what I'm saying? It's a real thing I go through. Working for the government for 24 years, it's a real thing go through. And you want to know, Andrew? Andy, you want to know that? You want to know what, Andy?
Yes, I do.
Yeah. I do my work 5 months and the boss should out of Boston pass. Working for a state agency. Because the police take away the pass and we and he work 5 months. 5 months. You feel people in Aruka and Lopino and Borne and West and them care about that? Them don't care about that, boy. Them don't care about that, boy. The police run with the bus like a dog or that government vehicle, boy. And embarrass me, boy. So when you don't really have comfort zone in there when you sleep around, oh, for the place. Boy, all you know nothing, boy. So don't come and talk about the plan and think like you know it, like you, boy. All have a good morning. Right? All have a blessed morning. Uncle Lennox, all have a nice day. Keep up safe and keep up the good news.
Yes, my friend. Yes, my friend. Passionate. Makes sense. Make a lesson.
The Ground Report with Mikey K, Andy Williams, and Lennox Smith.
The lines are open at Trinidad and Tobago, and I'm going to say a pleasant good morning from since 7 o'clock to you, the viewers on Dial the Caribbean that has locked on with us since 7 and still with us all now, and those of you that are now locking on, a pleasant good morning to you all. Welcome to the Ground Report. Yours truly, I'm the Pitbull of radio. Not forgetting my co-host here, Lennox Smith, and joining us in a little while will be the Mikey K. What's your contribution? What's your thoughts? What's your friend burner? And for those of you in the Caribbean, a pleasant good morning to you.
You have a caller?
Oh boy. Yes, we always do. Go ahead, my brother.
Yes.
Good morning, Andy.
Oh, go ahead, caller. Sorry.
Good morning, Ken. Good morning. Florida. Yeah. Andy, let me tell you something on Leonard Smith and the rest of you. I've been listening to this program for a long time. Like I said. You see all these people come and talking in your program there? All these people would not stand up for the right. They're always pointing finger on who doing this and who doing that. I will give you, Andy, do like me now, man, and Lennox Smith. Take your whole family and get the hell out of there and leave them alone.
Huh?
Because nobody wants good for themselves, for the country. Nobody. Coming to election part and they're talking a fucking nonsense. Who is doing this And who is doing that? You have one agenda to get that man out the hell of the other office. And if you cannot do that, keep your mouth shut. Matter who do what and what, Andy. I tell you that a long time ago. Take your family and get the hell and leave these people alone. Because they're no one good for themselves. I listen to that well, you know. Who is doing this and who is doing that and who is doing that and this one better than this one and that one better and I can't do this and can't do that. What is that all about? You have one agenda. Look at this man do with this country. And still put him back. Second time. You think they're going to best? Look at this man do with it. Make a SOE. Infringing it in his citizen rights. That's what he did. He did the same thing Moldova doing over there. And nobody is stand up for the rights. Man do what they want to do. The man bringing the taxes, input, bringing his own taxes, 25 years, he don't have to pay no taxes, but yet they bring down the citizen. And people still listen up. They stand up and take it, Andy. They stand up and take it sitting down.
Yeah, but you're going to have to have somewhere in Florida. But you're going to have somewhere in Florida. If we had a pack with family and go, you had to have somewhere in America, in Florida, there for me, Lennox and Mikey, and we going to lead them. But if you have nowhere for me, where we go, we got to stay here.
I understand. But sooner or later, make up your mind. Because what I'm trying to tell you, Andy, these people all have been there for how many years? I know. I listen to people surrounding you only talk. They're doing nothing. What I'm trying to tell you, and that's what I'm trying to tell you. They're only talking, and doing stand up for their right. It's so much you can do, and Lennox Smith and Mikey. You could only introduce that. That's your job. But people have to come and stand up for their right. Know their right. No, the man are fringing on your rights. They have nothing to do. The SOE have nothing to do with the criminals. They have something to do with you all to take away your rights. That you can't say anything or do anything. And like I said to you, if he make it to a police state, that means he's a full-fledged dictator. That's what he would do, like what they were. That's what he do with his people. The same thing. It's no different. Yes, the man don't care. He put the puppets out there. And people strong and taking that. Come up with 1-something million people. They come out and say, you gotta go. Now he bringing that SUE now. He preventing you from doing that because you're locked up because you have no rights. You had the rights before. You let him do that. You let him do what he wants to do.
I feel that why he can't face the public, but I think today he's supposed to be facing the public today. If I am Lennox Smith, does it have a press conference today from the Prime Minister's office or?
I am not aware. I have not received or seen any indication thereof.
Yes.
But,
yes.
Mikey. All right, let me get Mikey.
Mikey
has morning. There is a press conference, I believe, scheduled for 2:30. Again, the ground report always leading the way, and I expect that this is going to be about Randall Hector, the attorney that was killed after church service. The rowdy's going to come and tell us that they decided to do things a certain way without a curfew, but the regulations have been amended, regulations that were never made public to us anyhow. Even lawyers are asking. But now, because of the murder of the attorney Randall Hector, a curfew will be put in place.
Beautiful. Exactly that. Yeah. You haven't right this time, but at the first occasion, when we said that there may be one without a curfew materialize, but certainly this will cause that. Yeah. He will use that, and of course going and making and kind of close as possible to a date that the election should have been called or ought to have been called. He's going to try to extract as much further to see.
But I did ask you something, Lennox, to do a research on something. I asked you if you can just check the Constitution and see if it is on the SOE, if a sitting prime minister that having the election date in his front pocket, back pocket, or whatever pocket, if at any cause he could cancel elections based on a SOE, but you ain't get back to the public yet, the public still waiting to know that. So if you could please check to see if it is general elections could be cancelled based on a SOE.
Yeah, Andy, let me see before Lennox talk about the
me, yes, I don't even have to consult the Constitution, because suppose there was, let's say, a earthquake or something like that. It means, therefore, there's a state of emergency, and therefore the election couldn't take place. The election in 2020 almost didn't take place because of that emergency, COVID. So the answer is yes. Prime Minister can do that.
Well, boy, I feel that is where they're going. Go ahead, to wrap up there. Go ahead, my brother.
What I want, I'll wrap it up. Yeah, Andy, this is what I'm trying to tell you. Remember, I said that long time when Lennox Smith know I was talking about. That man will use anything to not do the election. I told you that. I know, man. I'm a boss, I told you that. I told you months ago.
He could only postpone. He could only delay, right? But it has to come.
Yeah, he could try to delay that action and try to make all kind of different excuse. That's what he's doing. He's a total liar. How people could believe that man? I don't listen. I don't hear. I don't like to listen to that man when he talk. I just lock my eyes off. He's a total liar.
All right, Kenrick.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
All right.
All right. Before Mikey, there, boy, let me just take the quick.
Yeah,
Mr. Faisabad. Yeah, Mr. Faisabad only ringing.
Morning. Welcome.
Oh, God. Mr. Faisabad, go ahead, my brother. Oh, you're in there.
So those regulations
go ahead, boy.
We just mentioned, Andy, would now be valid, because if he says that curfew is included now, you see, so they are trying to be smart with foolishness. But go ahead, Mr. Faisabad.
Good morning, Andy, Lennox, Mikey, and the listening public on the Workers' Right platform, Guile the channel, up the Caribbean, down the Caribbean, and all our social medias. And I will always say we want foreign observers from the Carter Foundation for our 2025 general election. So Happy New Year to each and every one, and this will be the happiest year in each and every one citizen's life if they choose to be a right-thinking citizen and want a better life for themselves. Because he could jump high, he could jump low, he could go by Miss Howard and put the cat in the cupboard. He have to call the date. And the nice thing about it, all I want to say this morning, and to remind the citizens why they must vote out the PNM for. Today is the anniversary from Augustus Long, when they were killing the patients and them, and to get the money for the pandemic. And I want all the COVID family who lost their loved one in COVID and say they're dead out of COVID, right? The investigation up to now, the committee, a report back yet to the public, the 5-man committee. But the nurses and them, we go around and give them biscuits. So I want to know if the nurses and them understand that after working in a high-risk area, and that is the reward, that helped Minister give all you. The 14 babies what died. The lack of proper management. They push the blame away. I want the family to know that 14 multiplied by 14 again, check how much people it will be. That's really wrong and get rid of these people then. Mark Luke suffered with cancer. NGC spent 10 million US dollars for equipment. And how much money they spent for Augustus Long to upgrade it to a cancer treatment center. All I remember Malcolm Jones. Malcolm Jones had kidney problem. The executive chairman of Petrotrin, who run up 12 billion US dollars debt. Eh? And he had a dialysis machine for his personal use. Understand where I'm coming from? So Mark Lukwan and NGC, they buy it and they put it in Augustus Long. So I just want to know, why does NGC losing so much money? And we, the citizens, when they go to the hospital, they can't get the treatment and the care in an orderly fashion and a time-consuming time. But yet still, the time upon us again. We take enough lies and old talk for 9, 10 years. A country of plenty, now it's empty. And everybody suffering. Let's unite and check the EBC to find out where they get the $10 million. And we want to know who had the $10 million for them to do the list. Don't let me like list the Passad and the list and the president. We want the EBC list to be updated. These are the things. And the SOE, we ain't talking nothing to contradict violence. We're just asking the authorities, because these are things were supposed to be done in an orderly fashion. And now the time is upon us. We want to know when the list will be finished and when the money is. So I don't want to take long as Andy say. So Happy New Year to everyone, and a bright and prosperous better day after the general election. Greatest UNC.
Thank you very much, Mikey. You're right. Now, a pleasant good morning to you. Where you're first, just give me 3 minutes while you go through all the way half first at 3-4 minutes or so. Go ahead, my brother.
Well, again, pleasant good morning to you, my brother Andy Pitbull Williams. Good morning to you, my brother Lennox Smith, and to our technical director. Yes, our CARICOM family, those folks locked on Gael, the channel across the region. Good morning to you. And of course, Sister Al Tobago and all the stakeholders, all the ground reporters. Good morning indeed. Yeah, so, prosecutors are fearful for their lives. This is what we're prosecutors in the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions now fear for their lives following the assassination of attorney Randall Hector on Tuesday night. While some of the prosecutors mourning Hector's death may now be hesitant to prosecute high-profile individuals, others said the murder would not hamper them from carrying out their duties. And of course, we also, Israel Khan, Senior Israel Khan says that hire foreign lawyers. No one wants to prosecute gang leaders. He's the president of the Criminal Bar Association. Israel Khan says the government should hire foreign lawyers to prosecute gang leaders in Trinidad and Tobago because, at present, locals do not want the job, not even himself. He himself doesn't want it. Khan said the assassination of Special Prosecutor Randall Hector has caused deep fears and concerns among the legal fraternity. Yeah, you even had Doma coming out saying that it has put everything in a tailspin. I mean, because what we're witnessing here is something that, let's be honest. You read about these things in places like in Italy where, the mafia is deeply rooted and other places across the world. But now we're talking about like Venezuela. So, again, we didn't get here overnight, people. We didn't. And I am certain that today they are going to come. He's going to come and tell us, listen, we tried it one way, but based on new intelligence that was been brought forward to the National Security Council, we would have no choice but to implement, of course, a curfew. Yeah, because the elite went out and had a good time. They were able to have party in Tobago, big bram, so people had to move around, what have you, and so. But because of this now, so we have to keep our eyes on this. We really and truly have to keep our eyes.
Remember, Mikey, you have to take into consideration that the reason for not having a concomitant curfew is to make make this state of emergency superior to that of Kamala Prasad Bisesa.
That's
Because,
right.
of course, in his attempt to, of course, tell us that this is more superior, he criticized, of course, the 1990 and the one in 2011 for having a curfew. So we know now that they always spit in the sky, it fall in the faces, and they continue as if that never happened. But there's another development that I wanted the public to take note of, and that is the tribunal that is supposed to be set up in order to review cases and so on, where during the state of emergency and of course the unrelenting powers of the police, that tribunal was supposed to be set up. Well, 2 prominent lawyers were asked, so that's the information we have. They refused, and another 2 was asked again in order to set up that tribunal. They too have refused, and therefore what you don't have is that buffer against, of course, extraordinary, arbitrary action by the police against the citizens who may or may not be, of course, involved in who they target. And therefore that is a very, very, very interesting development. I suppose they are not prepared to serve because of the fact that lawyers are now being targeted from the understanding and the information coming out of the DPP's office. So here it is, the entire country is now gripped in fear as persons who are qualified, of course, to act in a particular way to roll back against, of course, the criminal element, and now, of course, holding back or refusing to serve in this.
And that's true. That's true. But the fact of the matter, before we go back to the lines, Andy, the fact of the matter is that again, I think that we are still applying basic fundamental logic and conventional wisdom to an enemy that is going to circumvent all of that. There are people out there who still believe that this has to be put in. No, they are going to find ways. They are going to go whatever loopholes that they are going to use. You have to be conscious of that. They are also going to come and tell you they don't want to make the same mistakes that they made in the heights of the pandemic with COVID, because we are also hearing globally that something is rearing its head, and they will use it. Understand that. They will use that to tell you that these are the things that have to be put in place, because we don't want to make the mistake. Them, meaning of course them, don't want to make the mistakes or however it was mismanaged. So all of this is going to be placed together, and all of this is set up to deprive us of going out there and of course doing our civic duty. They are afraid of a free and fair election. That is what the Rowley PNM is afraid of now. They are on the back foot. They are afraid. They are shaking when it comes to having a free and fair election with transparency and accountability. And they will fight tooth and nail to find some way to seize it, to thief it, and to try to seal it so they can stay in office. That is the reality.
Go to the top of the class, my friend. It cannot be better said and put. Of course, regulation 2. If we don't have
I think we have someone on, Andy.
Well, go ahead.
And give them the numbers again, please. Again, the CARICOM brothers and sisters, you can also weigh in right here, the area code 868, and my colleague will give you the number. You can call in. You can also call in via WhatsApp. So whether you're in Jamaica, Grenada, wherever you're watching us, in Kitts, wherever, please let us know. We do want to have some special programming for the region, but we want your input. It's very important that we hear from you, and you can register with us, because we want to have some things where your politics could also be highlighted as well, and the challenges that you are facing across the region. The ground report is expanding. It's spreading its wings. So we want to know what is happening locally, regionally, and of course on the international circuit. To the diaspora out there, reach out to us wherever you are, whether it be in Canada, whether it be New York, whether it be wherever, Texas, Miami, reach out to us as well, and those in the UK that are locked on.
Yes, indeed. Of course, the numbers to call, of course, are 239 5120. Of course, you use the code for Trinidad and Tobago, the 1868, but certainly 239-5120 or 225-6644, 225-6644, and the WhatsApp number to drop a voicemail if you wish, and so desire. Well, of course, 681-7832, 681-7832. Those are the numbers to call us at or get us at so that you can make your input. I was making the, do we have a caller? If we don't, I was making the point about the regulations, and this gives. Today we expect, as Mikey rightly said, and I concur, that we are going to witness the specter of an additional curfew arrangement, and this regulation will certainly manifest it. Even though, of course, one didn't expect this to be part and parcel of the initial information that we would have gotten from, of course, those two ministers who clearly were ill prepared, and a prime minister that refused to face the public on this very serious matter. Regulation 2 of the schedule says the minister may, if satisfied, with respect to any person that, with a view to preventing him acting in any manner prejudicial to public safety or public order or the defense of Trinidad and Tobago, it is necessary to provide for his preventive detention, make an order, directing that he be detained. The minister directing that he be detained, so it's he or she, of course, when they say he here, and B, stating concisely the grounds for such detention. So, however, that no defect of any kind on such statement shall invalidate the order. In other words, whether you write it wrong or not, the minister, but it deals with, of course, the explanation for any detention that he believes is warranted. Any defect in the statement, because them fellas may have grammatical error and so on, that does not take away the validity of it to meet the objective, which is, of course, to detain a person who the minister believes has, of course, a prejudice public safety.
Oh boy, go ahead, caller. Pleasant good morning to you.
Good morning, ground report. Sunapuna here taking a second bite. Andy, Mikey, Lennox, you remember that thing that Pete Rowley
Good morning.
said? Yes, it's a brotherhood of wrongdoers. It's a mafia. It's the Cosa Nostra. You have to look at this thing very objective. So what you see playing off here, it is because all this is aligned to what these people that do, the Cosa Nostra and the mafia and whatnot, Now, why I don't call him back for, Andy, is to draw your attention to something. I just mentioned to you, I read out a little part of an article by Attorney Jagdeo Singh. And when he said that the regulation makes it a criminal offense to write, distribute, share certain information, social media, other platforms, the potential for arrest and prosecution. He pointed out that the regulation is vague, casting doubt on the ability to meet legal standards of clarity and certainty. But here was the next part of the article. I didn't get time to read. Moreover, Singh noted that the Regulation 11 strips the Director of Public Prosecution of the authority to decide whether to prosecute individuals. So in other words, they have taken away that aspect of the Director of Public Prosecution. Who is the one supposed to say people supposed to be charged and whatnot, and put it in the hands of the police and whoever. Understand this? This is very rich too, This is dictatorship. And then they had hope, but as Mikey said, the regulatory body that in case people have been wrongfully arrested and whatever problem they may encounter, they have no redress. There is nothing set up. And the attorneys are refusing to be part of this whole charade. Understand this, Andy? Because why their lives and their family lives will be at risk. This is what this government has done. that has brought the judiciary, the legal fraternity, because remember, Kid Rowley himself criticized the judiciary and the attorneys and the law association, everything. Huh? I'm saying that they are part of the whole, they're culpable to what is taking place with the crime situation because of the defending the criminal elements and then the judges and them being lenient towards these people and whatnot. It just goes to show you that they have put everything in place to put fear in the minds of all these legal luminaries, be the judges, be the lawyers, what have you. So who the hell is we, the small people, that they put in this thing again? We put in more fear in we, because the fact remains now, as you so rightfully say, they will not going to implement the curfew. So in other words, what they do, they now put the icing on the cake. All your fundamental rights have been violated, it have been infringed on, and therefore your freedom of movement, speech, and all the other necessary things that is enshrined in the Constitution is being taken away from you. People, we are in a dictator state. We are. And let me tell you something. They're going to lock up people willy-nilly. And I'm warning the ground report, fellas, all be extremely cautious. Because these are the people they're going to target. Anybody who oppose the government in making any speech, any comment. And they would say that you're inciting and all this kind of thing. And they're going to send the pothounds on them to arrest people, because knowing well that we have nothing, we go defend the police. There's a state of emergency, and we have nothing in place. Somebody could get no redress or nothing like that. So understand what it is going on in this country, and to some extent, fellas, it's hard to say it, but I'm glad these things are happening, because all the business sector people, everybody, the legal people, and everybody who was the lambasting Kamala Prasad and the UNC when they try in every possible way. And you see, one of the main persons responsible for all this dotation is taking place in this country, not one, but two, but the main person is the Speaker of the House, Bridget, and he said, George, you have a key role to play in this, because you were the one who was stifling the voices of the opposition, the elected opposition by the people, to raise concern in this country. And you, and together with the President and the Senate and all you, I don't know how it is. All you not being harassed, all you not being harassed. All you supposed to tender all the resignation by now, Tender resignation should be coming up plenty from the Speaker of the House, the President and the Senate and all of them. Well, don't talk about the President of this country. I don't know if these people sick. All of them is a bunch of stooge. All of them should be submitted the resignation. They should do that immediately, because what they have instilled, you President Kangaloo, have instilled a dictatorship on this country by your pronouncement and the thing that you doing to the whims and fancies of this government. Fellas, have a blessed day, brothers.
Thank you very much, Mr. Tunapuna. Oh boy. Next caller.
All right. All right, who's on the outside?
Oh boy, you all go ahead. You give up all the ringing. I can't answer because you have to wait for the whoever on to be able to finish their contribution. So I'm going to give you all the numbers. The numbers to call 225-6644. It's right on the screen. Or 239-5120. 239-5120. We'll give us a WhatsApp call or send your WhatsApp voice notes at 366-3053. 366-3053. Go ahead, caller.
Andy, morning to you, Lennox and Mikey.
A pleasant good morning to you, my brother. You go ahead.
All right, listen to me good. For the last 9 or 10 years, all this government has been doing is campaigning against the UNC. Even up to now, they compare state of emergency. Instead of trying to put things in proper perspective, this is why we reach this position. They run a racket in 2015. The Chief Justice said that with the extra hour, and he ain't doing nothing about it. This is why we reach where we reach. Right? But I still have hope because the 20th of January coming and Donald Trump taking office. So we go wait and see what he go do because for sure he go after Maduro and all this crap going on here. We have to stop. And whether they want to call election or not, they gotta call it. Remember, they say there will never be another Grenada in the West Indies. America say that. And we have to hope for that. So don't be, I ain't giving up no hope. They could try what they want. Donald Trump taking up office on the 20th of January. Thank you very much, Andy, for the call.
Thank you very much. Next caller, go ahead, caller.
Good morning, gentlemen. Good morning. Calling from the Barrackpore.
Good morning.
Gentlemen, I want to ask a couple questions. Is there a limited state of marriage? Is there a limited state of pregnancy? So I want to know what is a limited state of emergency. And I'm sure 99% of the population right now doesn't know what we're going through right now. Gentlemen, I want to ask a couple questions. If it have anything in our constitution really governs what is a state of emergency. And the reason why I'm asking this, you see when people like Larry Lala and them come out now and talking as a dotishness about get rid of Earl Christopher and thing, this is something these people are supposed to be, from the time you see the situation with the lady who interfered with the merit list for selecting the police commissioner, the involvement of the president, all these things is where the law.
Miss Blitz, I think Blitz Prasad or something.
Yeah. All these instances is when Rowley went and talked to this man in the night. Remember when he went and talked to oh God, I forgot the man's name now, it's slipping me. All these are things where the laws fraternity is supposed to be very, very vocal and outspoken and demand resignation from these people and even have them prosecuted in front of a court. What we really, let me tell you something, no matter what takes place in this country, this whole country today supposed to shut down totally and demand an urgent address to the Constitution of Trinidad and Tobago, where we put things in place to take away the powers that politicians in this country could do whatever they want and get away with it, and there's no consequences. If that doesn't happen, no matter what we do, the crime will continue. Every single thing will continue because the same lawyers now who calling for Earl Christopher to resign, they just use the inadequacy of the Constitution to gain prominence in their profession. And when you see now it come knocking on the door and it's affecting them, they come in now to call for this one to resign and thing. Our Constitution is supposed to be so structured that Earl Christopher didn't supposed to be the head police officer in Trinidad and Tobago. Our Constitution is supposed to be designed for like when situation like with Imbert happen, when money missing, we didn't supposed to reach Privy Council to try to get explanation where our money gone. Rowley didn't supposed to be coming in the parliament and lying to the population and say they're trying to assassinate him and it have SSA trying to plot to overthrow the government and all these kind of things. All these is things, if we don't address this through the Constitution of Trinidad and Tobago, we goes nowhere. We could put whatever. Our Constitution is supposed to clearly state what a CO, what a SOE means. So the population, a 2-year-old child, from the time they hear, oh, we in a SOE, they're supposed to understand clearly what that means. No idiot like Stuart Young and this next Pomsiti Rasta could come and tell you we're in a limited state of emergency, and then you go into find out what measures you put in to govern the state of emergency. That absolutely dotishness, and a population was sitting down and accepting this, could accept anything. Rowley going to come and talk such a stupidness again, in his press conference there. They wouldn't have no capable journalists to question him, and even if they question him, he can start to rough them up. So we back to the same dictatorship mentality. And if anybody feel they implement 15 days lockdown, 3 months lockdown, 6 months lockdown, and that will reduce the crime in this country, that would not do one thing. As soon as these fellas get adjusted to the situation, their agenda is to, hear what? Live how they accustomed living, through criminal activities and through lawless behavior. And everybody know, as soon as the police go back to the normal operations, it's the same thing again. They will be in the payroll, they will be in the lackadaisical manner, they will have corrupted ones, and that's where we are today in this country. So unless we don't start to fix this thing, where it really needs to start from, let me tell you something, all this is just spinning top in mud, and they're just dancing in front of our eyes and making us feel that they're doing something when they cannot do nothing. And this country, after going through this 9 years, going to 10 years, and then we reach our situation. Remember, this is a man where campaign all the way into the parliament by saying he's the corruption buster of Trinidad and Tobago. He's the man who's going to deliver comfort and peace and happiness and safety for the Trinidad and Tobago. And now after 10 years, we reach in a state of emergency under this government. And then people saying and talking about, oh, fire this one and fire that one. And think a big part of the problem, again, in this country is people like Larry Lala and all of them criminologists and things, where all of a sudden you see them jumping out of the hole to get a little 5 minutes, 10 minutes of fame, and then they'll go back sleeping. When things calm down, them safe, and then the law-abiding citizen, the regular you and me, have to face the brunt of the criminality again in this country. That's where we are today. We have to fix this constitution. Have a good morning, gentlemen. Take care.
Thank you very much. Next caller, pleasant good morning to you. Where you're calling from and what's your contribution on the ground report this morning?
I must say good morning to you, Andy. I must say good morning to you, Mikey K. Also, Lennox Smith. And I must say good morning to the listeners
and your family as well.
Morning. Happy New Year. Go ahead.
We know we're here for the new year, Kingsley. So they say he's a grasshopper, you know. So we want to hear where's he scenes right now. Everybody want to hear where's he. Yeah, we want to hear.
I want to say this, Andy. I see the attorney of law on the ground about a day ago with goodies sharing in Tokos and the Grandy. I do not know if Winston, you know that you've been on the ground for the last 2 years there in Grandy. I think that if you go in Grandy, you must be there with him to show him the people who need, the needy, and the people who is UNC, because you've been working that ground for the last 2 years, and you know all who and you know, because Grandy for Andy and Andy for Grandy, it have a crew there. I think that you should be a part of it. You should be a part of research campaign, and okay, for maybe the executive should instruct that should be happening. You know what I mean? And no, in this time, new people go want to come on board because we'll search get a seat. So you see people, but Grandy Andy been walking the ground, working the ground.
And what I would tell you, my brother, is that Mr. Wayne Sturge and me talked twice so far, and the various executives within the Grandy, they all call. You know, at this point in time, I'm not mobile, but yes, I will be in that structure there. Right?
That's nice. That's nice to hear, Andy, because I believe that you have a major part to play of bringing home that seat there for Tokos and the Grandy. If the UNC have to win that seat, I think that you will play a major part bringing home that seat there. Don't bring no set of new people and outside people go up there. Nobody do not know them. So, but I want to tell Mikey this. You see that bullying thing? Stop it, yeah. Yesterday, all you bully that white man. All you bully that white man. All you intimidate that white man. Yes, I stand with Abu. All you bully that white man. Or you try to force him to say that he's going to vote UNC or he's supporting UNC. And you know Philip also said he's going to work with the PNM to bring down the UNC. So if the goodly gentleman said that, what is the problem? Everybody want to work with the PNM to bring down the UNC. Everybody. You seeing that? And the same people who working with the PNM to bring down the UNC, the executive loving them up today.
We
had a big snake.
First of all, let me yank that crown from off your head. As of today, you are no longer the king of the airwaves, honestly and true. And I don't want to subject myself to any sort of conversation that is not going to, produce anything productive. So let me break it down here, because apparently you were listening to another program yesterday. Nobody forced anyone. It was quite clear. Mr. Aboud made his comments. And as a grown man, I don't know when he hired you as his lawyer or public relations officer, he knew exactly the questions that were being posed to him. He knew the answers, but it was just a whole scenario of verbal acrobats. Right? Total verbal acrobatics.
Mikey, the country supported
him to do anything. Hold on, nobody forced him to say that murder and lies and all of that. That was not.
Hey, Kingsley, you get a chance. Just listen to what Mikey saying.
Let me make something.
Yeah, you get a chance, Kingsley. Don't worry.
Before we go any further, if you have a problem for what this program stands for, we've been telling people for years, you don't have to listen. It's your choice. That's your prerogative. You don't have to listen. But let me tell you, as of today, if you didn't know, perhaps it was closing your refrigerator door. We stand with Kamala Prasad Bisesa, and we are UNC and proud, and we know that that is the only option when it comes to bringing change into this country. So if you have a problem with that, for those who talk about we defending this and defending that, don't pull up in front of the gate. The dogs are in the yard. Don't try to scale the wall. Don't try to cut a hole in the fence. We want to make it absolutely clear. We're stopping right here. If you're not on board, then you're off. If you're not with us, then you're against us. You could go anywhere else and plug in and listen to any program, but understand what the ground report stands for. So I don't know what program you was listening to yesterday, but let me tell you something. We're here to ensure that we want to live better. If you want anything else, you go and find that. But this is not a buffet for the illiterate. This is not a program being run on any sort of intellectual deficit. This is the ground report. And we said it time and time again. If you have a problem with it, run it out. But we want to live better.
All right, so let's hear your positive contribution, my brother.
I have no problem. Yeah. I have no problem with the ground report. I have a problem with the interview yesterday. I think it wasn't fair to the gentleman. I think that Philip ain't bringing nothing to this country.
Well, you represent Aboud and his interests. If you believe that he, the man, was being bullied because he ran, we made it quite clear. And he said he don't want to he go on. But he had no confidence to make the statements that he made, that he said he made in a UNC chat. Understand that? None of us, including you, could go in a PNM chat and make any kind of talk or any narrative about that. None of us could go in an NTA chat and battle Gary. They will stand for that. So understand something. Don't feel the UNC's a pushover. Don't feel the UNC's a pushover. And that's the problem with all you. That will let it flip-flop and go back and be called games. Because you take the lady's kindness for weakness. But if that is the case, we are here to pick up the slack. As I tell you before, if you have a problem, don't pull up in front of the gate. Don't try to scale the wall. Don't try to cut a hole in the fence. Once you're coming here, understand where you're at. And if you don't like it, you could get out.
Gaza cannot win the
election. Is bullying asking him the very straightforward question whether or not Philip Alexander is the spokesperson for the UNC? That's a very simple question.
But the ground is saying that, and the ground do not respect Philip.
All right. Bolia, we make it clear for him, right? We have Mr. Gary Aboud on. He's on the chat. Let us hear what Kingsley have to say. Kingsley, you have 2 minutes to say what you have to say and wrap up. You say the interview you find was not a thing. Let's hear. Because we want nobody to believe we is dictators like Rowley them. Go ahead. Mr. Aboud is listening.
I want to hear his view. If you heard Gary Aboud's comments, whether or not Gary Aboud said that the agenda is exclusive for UNC.
That's right. And this talk Andy that we talking about that how people feel about me. Brother, when they go I-95, they don't compromise, you know. When they go other places, they don't compromise, you know. If you want to compromise on the ground report, I will get off because I know what I am about. So how people feel and how they think, that's their problem. We reach that critical point. Being gone down, and we must what? We must go up on some narrative of what people.
No, and then all you want to say, and Mikey, is cut off Kingsley. That is all. You just had to say, well, Andy, cut off Kingsley, and I cut him off.
With that.
No,
nothing wrong with that.
All right.
Well, life goes on.
Go ahead.
Life goes on after that.
I would love to hear his answer if he listened to Gary Aboud's comment, whether or not Philip Alexander is the spokesperson for the UNC. That's my initial.
Well, what I'm saying to all you on the ground, they're saying that Philip is on the ground, and Philip, and once the ground is talking, it's more powerful than Mikey K and Aboud. The ground is saying that Philip cannot bring nothing to the UNC, cannot, because Philip tell this whole country about camera.
Wait. Let me hold you there now.
All right,
you stated
today.
Wait. You come to back for Philip, or you come to talk about the interview, because that's where I was giving you the room for. So other than that, give me something now. Give me something. Right, give me something. Let Philip defend himself.
Mikey K and Smith, I move on from that, please. Can I move on from that?
Right, go ahead. Let me
move on that. Right. I couldn't believe that the police come and tell this country that for the last few days they only searched 35 houses and 75 roadblock. There's more roadblock in the nation road that they're going into the communities and them where they call so-called hotspot. How you could tell me 35 houses will search and one gun will they get? And all these guns we have in Trinidad and Tobago, all these guns running wild, and you are telling me that 35 houses in a SOE, they make it clear. All these people were dead under this SOE. We have to blame Rowley for that. We have to blame Rowley, Stuart Young, Fitzgerald Hines, Keith Scotland, and the AG for that. Because that pastor could have been saved if a curfew was on board. That pastor wasn't going into no church and preach all his night if we didn't have a curfew 6 to 6. I say, because people would have been busy trying to get the things before 6 o'clock. Come, groceries, I mean, the household. But you have a curfew. You have a SOE without a curfew or without a timeline. People running wild still. You believe that? It is a disrespect to the people of this country, because the PNM know that talking about the economy go shut down if we have a curfew and a time limit. How the hell are you telling me that all you falling people SOE and end going into the because okay, all you hold the bosses on them, but what about the second boss, the third boss, the fourth boss, we're outside still? How only one gun? Why are you targeting the road and not into the so-called communities and them? What are they saying is had the guns and had the gangsters and them. Up to now, people are saying, go in this area, that area, and people want to know what kind of SOE is this? If this SOE is to hold the election, is to encode the election, people are asking question. People are asking if this SOE is to say that they're doing something so they can win the election. But this SOE will fail before it starts. It failed deeply. It failed.
I think the reason why they may not be going into certain areas because the leaders may not be around. I think they send a signal to them, and these fellas pack up and they move out a certain. I mean, really and truly, doesn't add up. And again, I believe that they are going to implement a curfew when this press conference is held later today.
So Mikey, how certain high-profile, certain so-called leaders lead the country, how them get permission to go England, to go America, and they know that there's this gang leaders and all kind of thing. This country playing games.
There you go.
This country playing games. Because what I'm hearing today,
we spent a lot of money. We spent a lot of money for a big conference that was regional, and all the heads came here. So I don't know if they didn't share the data or they had the names, but that's a good question.
Mikey, what we are hearing that in the police service there's 7 and 6. In the defense force there's 7 and 6. And we are saying that we need to have a SOE on the police station in this country. We need to bring laws because there is a group of police in this country, 6 and 7.
Right, and Trinidad and Tobago, what Kingsley is suggesting or stating is that the same way all know about the gangs within the guy, and I'm just talking to the lower masses who may not understand, or those the intellects that may not reach through the lines. What he's saying is that just how in the various communities it have the gangs, whether they name 6 or 7 or 8 or 9, whether they name the chopper, the shooter gang, or however it go.
They've infiltrated the police
service. So in the police service, it have police where is leaders, which is bosses in the 6, and who is bosses in the 7s, the 8s, the 9s, and the 10s. Yep.
So who's doing the recruiting process for these people when they come in the service?
Okay, the ground. Yesterday, this girl went down Simple Street. This TV6 lady. And when you hear how much complaint that the people complain and say is the police causing the crime, is the police encouraging people, because you taking a man from 6 and carry him in 7, and you know he could dead in 7. You taking a man from 7 and carry him in 6, and you know that they're dead. So why we only bringing laws to go? Yes, we have to go after the so-called little black bad boys, but we need to clean up our police service. Our police service are dirty. I take my point for saying this. Come for me, I'm saying this: 90% of the male and the female in the police station, they are corrupted. They are linked with the ground, and we need to have a special body because that PSA is always a time to go after, and the only way we can stop crime if we clean up our police service. Our police service are dirty. Why we just bringing laws to go after a certain set of people and leave the rest? I distance myself from that. I want to say that as I close, the ground is saying that 7 and 6, and I want the minister and I want the prime minister to adjust that. I want the commissioner to, because we witness it. We see police get hold in corruption. We see police get shoot in certain areas at night, linemen in certain areas at night. With it, doing there. And the government saying today, or is setting up one gang leader in this country. Or you want to put everything on one person in this country. That is Tyson. If a man that killed Tyson, or you put it in an agency building. The police know where he living. He living close to the police station. So it is a whole games. It's a whole game because Fitzgerald Hines went on Basildon Street with a mic and he tell this country, he and Sunday's friends, he and Prezi's friends, that's what he do. Fitzgerald Hines do that. That's what he do. So understand the link. Understand what's going on. And it's shame to see that when Akash asked the question to the Minister of National Security, first time I ever see a man who had words for me tongue, he couldn't answer. Gentlemen, I want to thank you. Those are good debates. I tell you, I want to tell Mikey, leave Aboud alone. Yeah, man, leave our boat alone. Gentlemen, have a nice day.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Well, remember to be again, it's not about fear, but it's all about just reading what it is. Mr. Aboud is saying here that I am not friggin' supporting any PNM. The man is saying plain he's not supporting the PNM. But all Mikey asked or everybody asks is, well then come openly and support the UNC and kill this whole thing.
And at the end of the day, Mr. Abood broke the first rule. He understands that he needs to go back and do an assessment and realize where he stands. Because in his community, and he can say what he wanted, in his community, you make your money and you hush. He broke the rules. He's not angry with the ground report. He's not angry with Philip. He's angry with himself. He's beating himself up. Why did I open my mouth and talk? I should have just hush. That's what's going on. So he will be on the ground report all day. Once we come on, he will be on. Because he's trying to do damage control. But we not on you. We are laser focused, according to the political leader. Laser focused, dealing with change. Brother man, your business take a hit. You go live and learn. But hey, that's the reality. And let's move on. Who we have on the outside?
Wow.
The Ground Report with Mikey K, Andy Williams, and Lennox Smith.
Bang, 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 bang.
Go ahead, caller.
Morning, gentlemen. Morning, Apache, and here. And happy and a blessed New Year to everybody in Trinidad. Well, I can't say happy one because everybody under the pressure. Gentlemen, let me just say something. Since 1977, certain members of the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service who have since resigned and some of them who have since died is corrupted to the core. And when I mean corrupted to the core, I mean real corrupted. I am speaking about what I know about. It had some police officers in Port of Spain Division, CID office, the old police headquarters. I wouldn't call names, I know them. One or two of them has passed away. Used to protect fellas in central Trinidad. And it was some brothers that they used to protect. And it was a gangster war between Dole Chedi and them brother Lynn Chauvelin Enterprise. And people would know who in the know will know what I'm talking about. I'm not going to be calling people name over the phone and thing. Because me not have no court closed, And me can't pay no, sue and bills and all kind of thing. So gentlemen, the whole thing about it is that they have to clean up the police service. They have to, as King Lee was saying, they have to clean up the police service. And that, my goodly friends of Trinidad and Tobago, will not take place under any government in Trinidad and Tobago. Whether it's UNC, whether it's PNM, whether it's IPL, DAC, Freedom, whoever you want to call it, it will not happen. You have to bring in foreign intervention to clean up the Trinidad and Tobago police service. Gentlemen, the only thing, the sad thing about it, is the citizens of the country who just feel the brunt of it. Now, regarding this SOE that they bring out here, I have no problem with it. But like everything else PNM they do it halfway. Halfway. They never do it totally correct way. That's why some of them wife leave them. Because they can never finish a job. That is their attitude. Now you tell me something. Why certain policemen is still in certain division and holding certain rank? The reason for that is like, for example, let me say a commanding officer of, let me say, Eastern Division. He is not, that officer, I'm not saying Eastern Division, I'm just showing an example. If that officer or that commanding officer of the Eastern Division or Central Division, Southern Division, if he put down his foot and decide to do good management, yes, it could be done. We could clean up the police service. It had to start at the top. And there is nobody in the police service right now, but all of them only fighting up right now to finish the pension or finish the time off, resign, go home and collect their money. What I am talking about is because I know men who work in them senior position. I know senior officers who tell me, they say, boy, look, you see me, at this stage of my life, you think I'm going to put my head in no block for anybody? I I have 18 months to go. I just throw in the line so I can collect my pension and go home. That is the attitude of some, not all, some of the Trinidad and Tobago police service. For example, and I will leave it with this one. Trinidad and Tobago police service, the strength of it is 7,518. That is around approximate, but very approximate. 7,518. That's the approximate strength of the Trinidad and Tobago police service. Gentlemen, 10%, which is 700 and something officers, is on suspension today. Have a blessed one, gentlemen.
Thank you very much. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. And as we
hear them figures? You hear them figures, but go ahead.
We heard them. As we always say, the ground report always give clarity to everything. Right. So we are seeing here, alright, we are seeing here again where some people is saying who's sucking up, who's this, who is that, and all these various things. Right? So let me just go to Mr. Aboud say Pitbull is acting like a sheep. Alright, Mr. Aboud. Right, and it's not a matter of that. Slimy, please don't be vulgar. Right, so you tell Mr. Slimy, don't be vulgar, despite what, although Mr. Slimy is defending him, he also say Gary Aboud was shocks, well, only seeing that, but it block off. Right, so now Slimy and he's thinking, well, Mr. Aboud gratefully say here, Kamala is not a nasty gutter rat and should not hug up anybody who publicly calls her that. Right, and then again,
this is his new hobby.
Yeah.
This is okay. While he's on, let me just share this information as always. Don't forget any First Citizens Bank account 23000045. 23000045. Again, any First Citizens Bank 23,045. You don't have to go in the line, Gary.
Right. Well, Mikey, you stick man.
Yeah, like it appears that he has been suspended in animation.
Yeah, you gotta reset the thing there. Right, let's go to the lines by the meanwhile. Yes. Mikey resetting.
Go on the outside.
Go ahead, caller.
Morning again, gentlemen. Barco again calling here. Gentlemen, I want to ask that caller who talk about the ground, what the ground saying and all this kind of thing. If the ground that he talking about ever vote for anybody else beside the PNM, and if the ground that he's speaking about that is talking compared to any part of the country again, have they ever developed being the stronghold of the PNM party? Are their lives better? Are they more comfortable? Are they more safe? Are there more jobs in the ground that he talking, that is speaking? Let him keep his ground. And what the ground saying, where he is living for the community, where the ground around Lavantil and Beatam is saying that here what? This country need a change. This country will be getting rid of the PNM and Rowley. This country had enough. 10 years was over enough. It was overbearing. We cannot take it no more. We're just waiting. If Rowley call the election today, when he have that press conference, the ground around Lavantil and Beatam would be rejecting Rowley and the PNM. And he could still go and remain in the ground that is talking to him, that he's listening to, and support the PNM, and continue to remain oppressed, depressed, and vulnerable, dilapidated, crime-ridden, as they are accustomed living for the last 67 years since we became independent. So don't speak about the ground is speaking and generalize that statement like if all down Chaguanas and Princeton and Moruga and Pinal and Davie and Barapon and all kind of thing is saying that this ground, we ground down here, is saying what you hearing. So you hearing something different. You hearing a community that the ground that you standing on will like to be abused, will like to be humiliated, where when a president of our next country is coming, they will put a wall to block out all your and keep all your ground isolated you continue to listen to that ground. Don't speak for the rest of Trinidad and Tobago, because the ground around Trinidad and Tobago, beside Beetham and Lavantil, need to change, want to change, and going to change this government. Have a good morning, gentlemen. Later.
Thank you very, very much.
Today's Lacqua's funeral. I know that you have that information on your WhatsApp, so maybe you can make, this might be an appropriate time to make an announcement to those who may not know or where the funeral will take place in Arima.
I'm going to put up that there in a little bit. I'm going to put up that flyer there.
At 2 o'clock today, people.
No, we have it. You're not the flyer on your just to give them the announcement?
No, I don't.
I don't go back
I
to
have
thing.
the entire thing. I'm getting a part of it.
Oh, all right. But meanwhile, we look for it. We look for it. Call a morning.
All right. Okay. You have a call? I have it here. I'll read it from my phone.
Yeah, go ahead, Krishna.
What? Yeah, boy, I locked on. I hear you talk about the police and them, boy. Here we have me line. Some of the police and them, they're really corrupt, boy. It's an incident happened by me here since March or April month. It's one of my brother now. I live in Pinto Road. We reported to the station, Santa Rosa police post. My brother went to get everything copied for them. Up to now, Andy, Mikey K and Lennox are still waiting on the report. You know the last time I saw the police, you know what tell me? You have to wait for somebody to give me advice, and then you go know how to move and how to move. And right now, the fellow who did the incident on the street walking, and he don't do what he do. So if I do what I have to do, when you come and lock me up now, Andy. So my point is this: some of the policemen, they're really corrupt society in Trinidad and Tobago, boy. They had to get rid of them because I said it really no. I mean, who gets lose. Trust some of the police. We have crime in this country going on real bad. Two of them, yeah, it's true, Andy. Right? So I locked on listening now, boy. Nice man.
All right. Thank you very much. Oh boy, next call, only make all your calls, get in your calls next morning, call away calling from. Welcome to the Ground Report. Welcome to our Guile viewers and everybody that are looking on social media. Go ahead.
Good morning, Immaculate Century. Yeah, I want to tell you something. I heard the Prime Minister talking about Lisa Morris Julian yesterday. And say, well, somebody in the media sent some text for him concerning she, and it was so good to hear the good things that they say about her. And he knew, well, the media does be against politicians and all that kind of thing like that. But first, this man could lie. The man never even say one word what the media person say. Because if somebody sends something like that in a funeral, where everybody that be saying something good about somebody, I wouldn't just say something so. And they say what they say. I will say what they say. You understand what I'm saying? So the other thing now, what Barapa was now talking about the on the ground. Sometimes, boy, is your heart what beating? And when you're walking, your heart beating so bad, you think it's your footstep. But it's your heart. Because things so bad in this country, it don't have nothing good go come all time. Another thing, Ola Christopher, if she has some integrity in her, she would resign. But I know she wouldn't do it because she is there for a purpose. Whereas somebody say she's a woman and people might be against her because of that. I know that is not true. Right? In my heart, I will love Ola Christopher to do something really outstanding as a woman. For all of us to salute her. Because my mother, my sisters and them, I salute them. You understand what I'm saying? So I have nothing against a woman being in a position. If she could do the job, no problem with me, right? But the idea is she there as a tool, and that is way bad. That's why everything going wrong, because she ain't pushing for nothing. Like she being lazy in the sense, because she had to do as somebody say. Fitzgerald Hines is a man, he oversees two are the highest murder rate in this country. And like nobody studying he could do what he want, they reject him, he's still there. I don't really understand this. Why Rowley make some kind of good move, boy? Why this man have to be keeping citizens at a ransom, boy? Why this man doing me that for? Nothing Kamala say he will do. And the reason why he keeping Hines there, because Kamala against Hines. The reason why he keeping Ola Christopher there, because Kamala there. Anything Kamala against, he keeping it. Well, I tell him Kamala, she must tell him how his wife really love him. And he must keep that woman real good. And I feel he and his wife go break up. Good morning, sir.
Thank you very much. Oh boy, next caller. Next caller. Morning caller, where you calling from? What's your contribution on the number one program, The Ground Report?
Good morning, Lennox, Andy, and Mikey K. Long live Nicolas Maduro. We're gonna be back. We're gonna be back in office from on the 10th of January. We're having our swearing in Venezuela. So Nicolas Maduro, the president, will be back in office again, right? Despite all the haters like on YouTube and TikTok and all these things, we're coming back in office. Right. I want to get
January 20th, President.
Let me ask something because Lennox listening. So you call us just to tell us that Nicolas Maduro will be inaugurated on the 10th of January.
Exactly. No, not that only, but I mean, so that my president, so I have to.
Oh, your president, Nicolas Maduro. Okay.
Right, exactly. Your one is Trump. I know for Trump, but none of them are for it.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. What I wanted to say is, considering this guy, what's his name? Anderson, and the next one who just called him Kingsley. You all have to understand them going back home to the PNM, you say trying all how to destabilize the UNC and seeing all those sort of stupid. I just listen to them all over other stations talking one sort of rubbish. You understand? So you have to keep that in your mind. Right? Hello?
Yes. You are on. We are listening to you.
Yes, you got it. All right. Keep that in mind. All right,
yes, so
listen, in the midst of that excitement with Maduro, please don't forget any First Citizens Bank account 23000045. 23000045. All right, for the ground report. Because if you love all of that, it has to have some money involved. So don't forget 230045.
All right, Mikey, you old dog. Keep good, brothers. Have a great day. And listen to you all because since you all not on radio again, it's be very difficult to get on to listen because I will on so
on TV. Are we on TV too?
Yeah, well, oh God, but I have no data on my phone. I have to wait until like today I take a day off and yesterday I listen to you all.
Yeah, TV. You really love Venezuela.
I see that big screen here. No, I have a TV. I watch on a big screen. All right. Well, you have a good day, brothers. Glad to hear. All
right, cool.
And on the 10th, don't forget, my president will be sworn in. I can say what I want.
And on the 20th, don't forget. 10 days later, he might be sworn out.
but before you go, someone said that since you love Maduro so much, why don't you not go to Venezuela, leave Trinidad, go to Venezuela and be his right-hand man? That's your president. Are you invited to the inauguration of your president? So people are just asking, right? And just
yeah, you're right.
You're right.
Well, he may be a fanatic, but he ain't stupid.
All right.
Yeah. Exactly.
Andy, like I really gotta be on all the case, boy.
Yes, people don't forget, of course, Camillus Lacroix is...
I just
have something on there.
Oh boy.
Let
me continue. The man called Anderson, Wilson, and Kingsley name, they say like they're going back into the PNM. He called and he cussing people. Oh my gosh.
I think Lennox had to read this thing for the longest.
Go ahead, Lennox Smith. Go ahead, Lennox Smith.
Lacroix's funeral service will be held this afternoon, in fact, at 2 p.m. Of course, at the Allen and Sons Funeral Home, 7 Broadway Street, Arima. So those of you who are wishing to pay your last respects, well, and our own, of course, condolences go to the Beery family. I had a discussion with, I think, his one of his nieces yesterday, and of course, we plan to meet after the funeral, which is today. So once again, of course, after 2:00 this afternoon, Lakwa's funeral service will be held at the Allen and Sons Funeral Home at number 7 Broadway Street, Arima. So those of you who are interested, we have done our information dissemination duty.
There you go. And of course, also this afternoon, the press conference.
Yes,
some people.
Yes. And next week, Monday, I think the UNC resumes their.
Yes, at headquarters, their Monday night cottage meetings at the headquarters of the UNC. And people are talking about Akash. They're talking about Akash Samaru will be there today, and would it be a full? Let me tell you something. If Akash only attempts anything, the Rowley's the type will tell him, "You go ahead, take chin up. You take chin up." There are people out there who will tell you buy big belly horse, but they won't help you feed it. You take chin up. Watch and see. Rowley will nip that early. Early go take that. Okay, take it personal, and you nip that. You say, "You go ahead. You taking chin up. You taking chin up."
Flat at the same time, yes, because he's all powerful. He's Mr. Bombastic. But I want to. Kingsley said something that I want to endorse, and that is, of course, we have the video and the audio to back it up, where Hines took a black car with a bullhorn, and he went, of course, to Bart Street. And he called, of course, people like Sunday, and he said he's going to visit, of course, Tyson later. And, of course, he called him to take the bike, and he says to him that he's a leader and that he's looking to work closely with him, and, in fact, come to his office the following day or something like that in order, of course, to, let's say, not to roll out, but to organize the rolling out of initiatives for the area. So I want to endorse what Kingsley just said, that yes, and therefore people can bill into all of that. The association, why it is that the criminal elements are so out of hand, and why it is when the PNM is in government, the criminal elements seem to have a field day. All of those can be, of course, associated and characterized by that kind of conduct. Once again, Hines went to Bart Street with a black vehicle. We have it on tape, bullhorn, and called, of course, Sunday, his brother, and call him to the mic, gave him the mic, and ask him, of course, to, on his behalf, to talk to the people, and then to come to his office. He said, that the Prime Minister knows he was there. Hines said the Prime Minister knows that he's there, and of course, the Commissioner of Police as well. All of those things were spoken. Now, today, you call a state of emergency to deal with these fellas and them. That's I'm just presenting the information. The people can, of course, give their own interpretation and understand what is happening in Trinidad and Tobago by these senior people. That's the minister.
Let me organize and
yeah.
Good morning, Ground Report. How much time will I say whenever Kingsley come on our program, just cut you off? Nobody want to hear he. You waste of time. You don't think she's stupid.
Good morning. Happy New Year, Mighty K, Andy, Lennox Smith. Mighty K, well spoken. We don't have time to waste with these non-entities. You understand? If Kingsley want to jump wherever he want to jump, that is his business. That is his prerogative. You understand? Just keep him off of this program. This program is not for Kingsley. Right? You all have a blessed and safe day.
Andy, good morning. Good morning to everybody on the Ground Report. And I wish everybody a happy 2025, a safe one, but change. That's what we want. Now, my opinion is this. This government, talking about state of emergency, you want to bet when Carnival time come in, they're going to drop the state of emergency for everybody to wine and jam. And then when community elections, he will bring it back. I might be wrong, but I don't trust this man. Take what I'm telling you. Thank you. You all have a good and a blessed day, and Happy New Year to everybody with safety. Bye-bye.
Grog report. Morning. Yeah. Blessed 2025, Andy. Now, I listened to Wassa researcher, called it Blair, Wassa researcher. You see, I understand him. And the plan is to get some more seats on the East-West corridor. Remember, we operating under a country with an opposition with 19 seats. Don't forget that. You will know the amount of seats the PNM have. With this performance in Trinidad and Tobago with Dr. Rowley under this tenure, for 10 years, let me tell you something. We don't have much work to do. The people is going to remove Dr. Rowley. Dr. Rowley did everything in public office to be removed from public office. Don't talk about Fitzgerald Hines. All these people right now, Mr. That's St. East, I think Minister is Stuart Young. I think he still did not answer one of the opposition member in the Parliament of Trinidad and Tobago. Some questions being asked him and he's still in answering them. We still yet to get clarity and clearance on the Auditor General issue that happened with the state concerning taxpayers' money. All these things is things that we have to vote against if we want to see this country move forward. But I understand your argument. I understand it fully well. And to Ms. Kamala Prasad, the Sessa and the opposition, you must be deeply involved with the machinery. I know you have soldiers listening to a radio station to hear how the machinery is going, but don't send us on that political battlefield out there with no slingshot. You understand? Because the PNM is run a propaganda machinery that you will never believe. Remember 2912, that 2912 seemed like you all forget Don Sylvester, where are you? Like you forget. Yeah, you forget Arnold Roberts. You didn't forget. Just hearing you alone, you know you didn't forget. You know what you're doing. And the PNM will be beaten bad by the poll there. Remember that.
Good morning. Go ahead, caller. Go ahead. You are live, Mr. Ramnarine. Go ahead.
Good morning, Andy. Good morning, Lennox, and good morning, Mikey K. And Happy New Year at the same time.
All the best to you and your family.
And all the best to you all. One thing I want to say. For the amount of Venezuelans that Trinidad have, in Miami, downtown Miami, there's a place called, it's in Miami itself. There's a place called Little Havana. Because only Cubans living there. The same thing would happen in Trinidad. They'll have to change either Chaguanas or Port of Spain or Icacas to little Venezuela. Because it will only be Venezuelans living in these areas. So, and then eventually it might change Trinidad to Venezuela, little Venezuela. People have to get up. You check and see that what is taking place, what these people are doing in Trinidad. They're committing crimes. They're running rampant. And people have to get up and the government has to get rid of these people. When Kamala said that when the Venezuelans commit crime, you deport them. Everybody was mad about that. But she's right. Look at the amount of people that Trump have on his table. 180 million people to deport, starting on the 20th of this month. So that's really it's deportation for people. And he realized that these immigrants are causing problems. They're committing crimes. They committed murders. They're doing robbery. And people can't live. If people want to live a peaceful life, they cannot. Another thing is that, what is going on? You have to get people to talk, let people talk in a competent way on the program. Because right now is this, the show is going like a soap show. Everybody talking all kind of stupid kind of talk. You see? People have to have a head and talk logic, talk things with sense. Anyway, I'm glad what I have to say this morning. And thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Ramnarine. Oh boy.
Good morning, Andy and Lennox and Mikey. Remember the PNM have a retreat in Tobago, you know. So when they come here for the retreat, they must go overthrow the government. So in order for them to be over here and doing the nonsense, is to call a state of emergency. I don't believe we have no threat, no way, more than them and the retreat that they come into Tobago. Tobago and do what them, So to be Trinidad and go, the amount of little toy gun that them boy bringing in the country. Look at that. Little toy gun Fred in all here. Little blaster, shell blaster. Fred all because it look like real weapon. And all go overthrow the country. Mikey, let we get we head on everybody now because this man don't know what he's doing in the cabinet. He better use a grip than he use a cabinet. Because all they're doing in the country is nonsense. Look the amount of things going on. You wait till murders meet 600 and something. And now you're coming to tell me a lie. You and lie more because he very liar, you know. Very liar that lie more there. If you go in Miami and tell lie, well, if you ain't going to tell lie here about. You don't know what is the real issue with them, but all we know, they have a plan, and the plan is to disrupt this country for them to get to perform their duty as thief and corrupt. That is where we know. But we believe that God is able. We will stand still and see the salvation of the Lord because these people are too evil now. One day before the change of the new year, and you know election will call just now, which you're supposed to call the election. You start to do all kind of nonsense to and stand up for what is right, right? Hello, good morning. Blessed morning to the ground report, Andy Williams, Mike.
Oh boy, well, let me just finish Mother Bernie's voice note there. Let me just finish Mother Bernie's voice note.
Mikey, Lennox, this question I want to ask Lennox. If you have a problem with land surveying and you went and get a police to come and stand up while the land is being surveyed because of some one of the other people on the other side of the land making.
Oh boy, I'll take delay calls and them in just a little bit. All who call in, just give me a quick.
Let the calls come in.
Yeah, let me just take.
Making confusion, but the surveyor has his cadastral sheet and the owner of the land have a deed. You went to the police, you pay your money for a police, but the day now you're telling them, you telling the owner of the land to bring a cadastral sheet and the deed for you, the police. I don't think that is the police business. I think that is for the landowner and the surveyor and inland revenue. So I don't understand what's going on. So when they say the police and them corrupt and they had their friends and so, I believe it's true because when you telling the man to bring a deed and a cadastral sheet for you for, what are you doing with that? That is not your business. Your business is to protect and serve, and that is what they pay you for. So I want Lennox to answer me.
It makes sense. It is about keeping the peace. The person, in an attempt to avoid some kind of fracas that may have occurred, out of an abundance of caution, went and do just as a party promoter, just as people with special events, including, of course, political parties. So you're quite right. The police is there, and if it is that it is something illegal that the police might have been paid to engage, of course, they will quickly, of course, notice that and take action. But outside of that, they are supposed to respond for which they were paid, because it is about keeping the peace.
Well, all right. So that's it for voice notes. We go take the calls. You take the calls, and if you get through a caller would not play your voice note, go ahead, caller. Good morning to you.
Yes, good morning, Andy, Mikey, Lennox, Smith, and Tobago Central here. Pleasant morning. Thank you, Andy. I appreciate it. So going forward, Trinbagonians, Only comfortable with what is taking place under this wicked, cold-hearted, dirty-minded, corrupted PNM government. Only really comfortable with this. I said, God bless the ground report, and God continue blessing Andy, Mikey and Lennox Smith and their family for this continuously work that they're doing in enlightening the country from right from wrong. Shouldn't they go in this SOE is not to deal with who them thing they're dealing with?
Hold 1 minute, right? Because I see on the chat here, they're going mad here again, and people saying Andy let Gary call Mr. Aboud. We was playing voice notes. I know the program ain't ban you, Mr. Aboud, from calling onto the program at all. Right after Miss Central, you call, we will answer, and you will have your opportunity to speak, just as a democracy, as Kamala Prasad says, wants to make this country have. Governable and not ingovernable like Rowley and this government at this point in time that take away everybody's constitutional rights. So right after Miss Central, Mr. Aboud, you can call in. We don't have a problem with that. We will answer you. And ban for what? Go ahead, Central.
Yes, this is a solid, educated, well-educated platform here. You understand what I'm saying? So who don't have that common sense, come on board, and only will be acknowledged with the right things here. You understand? This program does not ban people, that does encourage people. We're not all about negativity, we are about positivity. Don't let me start to preach up in this place for the people. We are telling all here, this is a serious thing going on here, and Andy and Mikey and Lennox Smith, they were three God sent person to assist people on this land, This land called the land I live in, Check it out for this section, they're going to have everybody has a blind eye. God touch these fellas and them to do what they're doing there. You have to have a motive and that blessedness in you to do what they're doing there. They put their life on the risk for we on the ground. So we should have a voice, but I'm telling you, this thing that what this government is doing is going to have an uprising in this country, People vigilant already and they spoke about it already. This man bringing political war in this country, This man don't know how to run as according to a man called back then. He can't even have a parlor with 2 sweets in a bottle. Or remember that, Andy? This is so shameful and disgraceful. Nobody on the outside will want to deal with this man. Why this man not do the honorable thing?
I find your phone in coming across it can coming across really clear, well muscleish kind of way, boy. Like how Miss La Hocketa phone this do, that how we get you. We can get you clear at all.
Yeah, the parents try to jump it, but they can't jump it. Because what about bless mom and curse? Man phone falls, so now we get a little in between. You understand? But just remember, people say laser focus. And at the end of the day, run them fast as well as code. And remember, at the end of the day, yellow is the code. And it's that, Andy.
Thank you very much. Next caller. Good morning, caller. Yeah.
Morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Morning, Andy.
Good morning to Mr. Aboud.
Listen, a blessed morning to you. I want to say 6 things. One is...
Oh, remember it have Mikey K here and Lennox Smith,
No, they called me a liar yesterday, and I'm not a liar, a thief, or a murderer. So until they can apologize and be humble, if I have said something to offend them, I apologize from the bottom of my heart. But I don't think I have. And I don't condone people that talk about bullying and all these kind of attitude and calling people names. I think that is demonic, and I cannot forgive a person for calling the leader a gutter rat. You have to listen, play the video. I don't want to talk about that. I want to talk about something different. Leave that alone for today. I wish.
When did we call you a liar? Lennox, you remember that? When did we call him a liar?
Play it back, brother. Anyhow, listen, I love you guys. I listen to you all. I don't often comment. I listen to you all and I follow you all and I love you all. And I have no hate for Philip or for Kamala or for any member of the UNC or for the PNM. I don't hate anybody. I have survived with boycotts since I started my business. Because when Manning was in power, 80% of my customers were Indo-Trinidadians. And when Bazio came into power, it switched. And 80% were Afro customers. Right now, Indo customers have fallen off, but Afro customers have doubled because people listen to what you all say. And if you want my company and my staff to pay a price, I would give my life for Trinidad and Tobago. And I have no shame and no fear. When I go, I'm going to meet more people that love me on the other side than people that love me here. So I'm not afraid of death, and I'm not afraid of persecution and torment. That is the calling that I have chosen to stand up for the truth. But I don't like that we should be hypocrites. We shouldn't hide from the truth. If I were to join the PNM tomorrow, or the UNC tomorrow, or Gary Griffith, or anybody, it would be with the condition of 10 conditions. One of them is changing the Integrity in Public Life Act. Another one is changing the Freedom of Information Act, where they can hide behind it. Another one is changing the Procurement Act, making it much tighter, much tighter. Listen, the whole Caribbean, the whole of Central America and Latin America, where I have been many times, because I'm a traveling salesman for my company, the whole of Africa, all of the colonial nations did not get proper laws to manage their economies. And so these, what you call career politicians, get into power poor and stay and become millionaires. Look at Mobutu Sese Seko. He took that country. Today it is estimated he's worth $50 billion US. And the Congo is poor. And Trinidad is no different. The wealth is sucked from the oil and gas sector by working corrupt deals, not by little petty traders like Gary Abudo, little Syrians that save their money and hate them, or the paladins with Pennywise. Those are not the people to hate. Those are people who stay here and who are part and loyal and patriotic to Trinidad and Tobago. But what I want to talk about this morning, brothers and sisters, is feedlots. I want to talk about feedlots because feedlots has the highest level of lung disease, of asthma in Trinidad and Tobago. And they have nobody to defend them. And there's a mafia there that will shoot me for what I'm about to say. There's an organized mafia that run a private dump. And they burn it because it has gotten so tall. I've called the fire services to out it 100 times this last year gone. And I cannot go there because it's dangerous. It's illegal. They don't have a permission to run this. But because it's a member, because the person who got the license to run a recycling facility is a councillor of the ruling existing government, nobody's touching them and stopping them. And that smoke, it's not like when you burn leaves in your backyard. That is white smoke. That is not carcinogenic. The body has a capacity to discharge white smoke. The blood, it gets into the blood, but the blood has the ability to, the way God made us, we can discharge it, but we don't have the capacity to take out black smoke, which is all kinds of heavy metals. And what has happened is that they're burning garbage. They have multiple facilities in Trinidad where plastic garbage is burnt. And this plastic garbage gives black smoke. Oftentimes the battery recycling groups, they burn tires. If you burn tires and you breathe that air, or you let that air go into our sea, and it rains into the clouds and comes back in rain into our fish, and we have found that our fish are contaminated, there's a correlation between eating fish and getting cancer. In other words, if you eat fish 3 times a year that live in the Gulf of Paria, you are generally safe. But if you eat it 300 times a year, the frequency of cancer in your blood accelerates. And there's studies done on that. When that study was published, the laboratory in UTT that published it, from the professor was sent on retirement 5 years before, and she's paid. Right now, she just finished getting paid for retirement, but she never got to teach what God brought her here to teach us. And the laboratory, which cost the country and taxpayers $27 million to set up in UTT, was disbanded because it published a study that showed that heavy metal contamination in our fish in the Gulf of Paria, and it's coming from different sources, including the smoke. So while we fight each other over people that hate each other, We should take time to love each other and to take time to listen to who is taking advantage of who. 100 or 200 years ago, we had slavery. Today, we have a new slavery. And that is where people take advantage of each other and dirty each other and endanger each other. So who want to hate me? I don't care. I have lived with hate since I was a little boy in 1970. And people curse me because of my color. I have no shame for who I am. I carry my flag with pride. And I will embrace anybody who carries the fear of God and the devotion to the truth. If you all in the ground report want to block me or hate me, or all your supporters or the UNC or the PNM supporters want to hate me, I have been spat on my face. My business has suffered consequences of all kinds that I prefer not to talk about. I have been searched and checked from every government administration. Each government that comes in torments me, check everything I do. I have no shame. I have no fear. God is my witness. What has to come to me will come to me. I'm not afraid no man. I'm not afraid no man. And I wish you all every blessing from the bottom of my heart. From the bottom of my heart. I wish you all every blessing. I will hug Kamala and I will hug Rowley. And I wish I could do like my hero. I wish I could do like my hero, my prophet Bob Marley, and bring Kamala and Rowley on a stage and let them hug up each other for all to see that it's one love. At the end of the day, we are brothers. Forget about all this racial divide and political divide. At the end of the day, we are brothers. And that's what my message for you all for the New Year is. And I thank you all for allowing me to speak. I'm still here. Right.
All right, thank you, Mr. Aboud. Lennox, because remember we have about 3 minutes before 10. You could address.
If that's a prelude or a preemptive in connection with, of course, Philip Alexander's call for some kind of reconciliation between him and Philip. So that's the first thing I got. But to say that we call him a liar, well, I want to say that we asked Mr. Aboud a very specific question, whether or not he said that Philip Alexander is a spokesperson for the UNC.
On the ground,
he has not said categorically that it is in fact so, and in fact he started to say that, of course, the wrong saying so. All right. We had Mr. Philip Alexander, and he categorically said, no, he is not. I would have expected Mr. Aboud to say the appropriate thing in order, of course, to settle this matter. He has yet to, of course, say so. So I don't think I have anything to apologize. The facts are clear. He did say so. And he admitted that he said so, and that is what he said. And Mr. Philip Alexander said, no, he is not the spokesperson for the UNC. That was the only issue.
Yeah.
Only issue.
But with all of that, with all the love, with all the hugging, with all the Bob Marley, let's not overlook the fact here. Any First Citizens Bank, account number 2300045. Any First Citizens Bank, any First Citizens Bank.
There were more questions that could have been asked that might have been rubbed a different way. And and we didn't pursue it simply because I think we had reached a stage where reconciliation was the name of the game and all should be on board, etc. And
any First Citizens Bank.
I hear you, my friend, but of
account number. Allow me, please. Any First Citizens Bank, account number 2300045. But Mali cannot be deposited. Love cannot be deposited. Compassion cannot be deposited. Kumbaya cannot be deposited. One second, Lennox. Hold on a second. Please. All I'm saying is we have to roll out community microphone. And when we roll it out, you could come and you could spread that love, because it will be by the people, for the people, and most importantly, with the people. We have places to go. We had to go Maruga. We had to go Barataria, San Juan. We need to roll out community microphone So with all that love, don't keep all that love to yourself. We have to go from every street corner, every lane, every dirt road, every highway, every pavement, community microphone. You know that. Elections will never be the same without community microphone. We come to you. The mic is given to you. You voice your concerns. So please, any First Citizens Bank account number 2300045. I not playing for a mug or a bathroom mat set. I not playing for none of that. No curtain rod. We need cold cash. Any First Citizens Bank account number 2300045 so we can do the people business. All the love, all the compassion, all the sensitivity, all the data on the science and wherever, that's all good and well. But at the end of the day, any First Citizens Bank account number 2300045.
I hear my friend. I hear my friend.
Nice.
Andy, anybody else?
Just one quick call. Let me have to wrap up. One quick call. I still not mobile, and I need to be mobile. Go ahead, caller.
Andy, morning and pleasant good day to you all and happy New Year. Andy, I want to know how much money was spent on Morris Junior Fund from taxpayers' money. I want to know that. Why they must take taxpayers' money to bury these MPs and them who getting that money? Man, I find like too much of wickedness and people just be crying out for little benefit, something from the government, and they don't get it. Secondly, Andy, these lawyers they want to bring from away, their own lawyers, they are afraid them. They're afraid the PNM. The PNM has caused a problem in this country with criminals. And the lawyers nobody they want to come and fight against the criminals. And they want to bring all the alert the lawyers from away, do come here. I want to know the third point, Andy. And now they want to have a SCM big meeting and all kind of thing and state of emergency. What kind of nastiness is that? So a lawyer life is more important than everybody else's life in this country? Thirdly and fourthly, Andy, if you see heavy equipment pack up at Guayco Junction concerning the Komoto Highway, about 30 heavy equipment, bulldozer, excavator, roller, if you see equipment pack up there, the cost of that equipment pack up there for one day could be $1 million, Andy. And you know how long that happening. Andy, why you spending the taxpayers' money like that for? Oh God, man. And the next thing is this thing that Martin, they freed you. You see, PNM have people in all places in this government and in this ministries, this country. And they call a shot and they say, let go the woman, do this, do that. And everything them controlling. I just want the shadow ministers of the UNC to take note of everything that is going on. Take a note, and when they get into it first, deal with it. Thank you, Andy, and have a blessed day.
Thank you very much. Mr. Buddha, again, don't forget the account number 2300045. Alright, any First Citizens Bank, you do have to think. Obviously, you is a man could
put
do a wire.
Put it in an envelope, or you can do a transfer in the name of Michael or Andy Williams. You cannot deposit a bathroom mat set. You cannot deposit a mug. You cannot deposit anything from the store, but you can deposit hard, cold cash that we can get out there, and you could spread your love, your hippie love.
Nice.
But
on behalf of the ground report, I will also want to wish you a happy new year. May God continue to bless you. You have a lot of jump high, jump low, a lot of good work that you have done besides your statement, which we give you the remedy for that. You just had to organize, go back on a live, make your apology, and just everybody be on one page. We wish you the best in your business. We wish you the best in life. And may God continue to bless you. Keep up your good work for the environment and for plenty of the stands, the good stands that you have taken. You really have taken a lot of good stands.
Blessing, Andy, up to now, we now give out the account number, and you're sending blessings already. You ain't give nobody a chance to get to 2300045. No action in taking place with 2-3-0-0-0-4-5.
Reciprocating, man.
I
You don't have anything to
that.
tell Mr. Abu quick before we go? Because
No, I talk to everybody. It's not no particular person. Everybody. Account number 2-3-0-0-0-4-5. We coming into your area. We have to come into your area. The mic will be yours, and it is for the people, by the people, and most importantly, with the people. Everybody has to know that. 2-3-0-0-0-4-5, any First Citizens Bank. That is the bank that's the green one. Don't say I went Scotia. No, it's First Citizens Bank. Any one of them, wherever you are, make that deposit.
And as far as I'm concerned, he did obliquely said that he said those words, of course, and the evidence provided by Philip Alexander confirmed, and therefore,
Lennox, we passed that. Lennox, we passed that. We reached 2-3-0-0-0-4-5. That is where we reached. Forget that. Any First Citizens Bank 2-3-0-0-0-4-5. We passed that. Who said who gets feelings? The truth offense, all that don't matter. Right now, we have to roll out the program, community microphone. We cannot deposit a mug. We cannot deposit a curtain rod. We cannot deposit anything but hard cash. First Citizens Bank 2-3-0-0-0-4-5. If you want to spread the love, join us and spread the love all over the country.
Gentlemen, no corridor tonight. I will be at Spargos.
Well, of course, the first dance for the new year. It's going to be wonderful. So, folks, you don't want to miss it. Those of you, bring out your cameras and, of course, take your pictures, as the first dance for 2025 will be today with Lennox Smith. So the break up and the crack up and the flip and the dip and the skip and the split and all that, you don't want to miss it. Bring in 2025 with your first aerobic dance class. Hey, we are out of here until Monday. Try to stay alive.
Gentlemen, of course, all the best to you and your family as well. Andy?
Yes.
You and your family all the best wishes, and of course, don't forget people. Lacqua's funeral.
Oh yes, mention that funeral again.
Yeah, that will be held this evening or this afternoon at 2 p.m. at the Allens and Sons Funeral Home at number 7 Broadway Street, Arima. So those of you who are making plans, well, please make a present. Our condolences go out to the bereaved family. Very missed live wire in the constituency where Andy has found a new name, Andy for Grandy and Grandy fan.
Nice,
Bye-bye.
nice. Oh boy. So until Monday, please God. Watch the Pitbull Radio. So don't forget, get on to your candidates. Yep. And see how we all could work together to get rid of this taxing, lying, thieving government.
Mikey K, Andy Williams, and Lennox Smith.
Bang, 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 bang.